Welcome back to the 2025 PGT Mixed Games. It is time for the Event 6 final table, a $15,000 buy-in dealer's choice event headlined by none other than Poker Hall of Famer Daniel Negreanu in search of his first ever dealer's choice title. He's come close before on numerous occasions. Let's see if he can close it out today. My name is Remko Rinkema. Donnie Peters alongside me in the booth, and joining us, special guest Kevin Gerhart, four-time WSOP bracelet winner, an expert when it comes to all these games in rotation. Here's a look at the lineup. Maxx Coleman on top. He is our chip leader. Nick Schulman, aspiring Poker Hall of Fame member, is the short stack. Brazil is represented as well. Vamos in the chat if you're with us from Brazil. Yuri Dzivielevski representing. The final seven guaranteed $39,000, $292,500 up top, and of course, a boatload of PGT points in the race for the $1 million PGT Championship. Now, let's get these cards in the air and find out whether Negreanu can battle his way through this tough lineup.
Take one for the team and provoke him a little, Ryan.
I don't think I need to provoke him.
Why is he coming to play the 100K?
Familiar faces and new faces at the final table. Maxx Coleman, of course, was here yesterday. Same for Negreanu. Ryan Miller had an epic showing in what probably was the longest heads-up in PGT Mixed Games history. Nick Schulman has been here before this week as well. And then we have Dylan Smith, Yuri Dzivielevski, and Philip Sternheimer. Sternheimer, who joined us in the booth on numerous occasions during last year's WSOP. And the first game, Limit Omaha 8 or better. Like I said, this is dealer's choice, meaning that after an orbit of play, the next player gets to pick his game of choice. I believe there are 19 games in rotation. Plenty to choose from. And Negreanu here with 10-8, 7 deuce, double suited, raising from
double suited, three low
the
cards, 3 cards straight. You know, out of Badeucey.
So what was the deal with Opie? He's a piece of shit, that's the deal.
Oh, he's okay.
I was playing online with Julian. Playing heads up, and he wanted to play. We play heads up every day. Everyone else was okay with it, and Opie wasn't okay with it. He said, I'm not going to let you play. So he sat in, so then Julian sat out. So he said, okay, we won't play. Then he sits out, Julian sits back in, Opie sits back in. He just wouldn't let us play. He said, I'm not going to let you guys play. So whatever, he just broke the game. We haven't played since.
He scared away Julian.
Kevin, question for you. How much more difficult or different is dealer's choice versus 10 game, which is the largest other mix that players play on a regular basis?
This format, I would say, favors a lot of cash game players because you get to play games like Badeucey and Badeucey.
What games were you playing?
There are games that aren't normally played in tournament formats, such as Pot Limit Hold'em. We saw Limit Omaha High yesterday. That's a game that's also in the mix. You have to be really a master of all trades, and if someone calls a game and sees that you don't really know what you're doing, that game will continue to get called until you are out of the tournaments.
Negreanu springing into action immediately, picks up aces with the suit, got the 4-5 to go along with it. Really nice prospects here in this game of high-low, and look at that, already basically $1 million in the middle as we go to the flop. 4-6 Jack. Negreanu's high chances have some good equity here.
Yeah, Negreanu playing Ace-5 for the low. Miller also playing Ace-5 for the low.
7 of diamonds on the turn. Negreanu with 4-5, also with a straight draw here. 7-5 gives Miller a different straight draw. River is the 4 of clubs. Negreanu, 3/4 here.
Yeah, the check back on the turn is really giving Miller some respect. Calling 3 bets out of the big blind for something like an ace deuce or ace 3. We can see
I don't know.
that Negreanu is getting 3/4 of this pot.
Is this song coming all day?
I got a 4 and Ace-5.
You get 3/4.
And Negreanu getting some additional value on the river. Might look like a tough bet to make there on the river.
Give me 150 for him.
Yeah, I think with having a 4 and blocking a 5 for the straight, You could definitely get called by something exactly like Miller had to get 3/4. I don't think you're scooping very often with the way the pre-flop action went, but he did get maximum value from his good aces.
Big Johnny in the chat says, there's some games that no one plays, surely. Well, that's the sort of beauty of Dealer's Choice. Also, by the way, welcome everyone watching on PokerGO and on YouTube. We are live on Twitter as well. The game that we are seeing today is not just about knowing how to play. It is also about knowing what to pick that the others don't play well, as Kevin alluded to just a few minutes ago. So your mental sort of wheels are always turning, thinking about, you know, who's short, who's got the big stack, who's good at this game, who's good at that game, and how will this impact my stack going forward. Kevin, share some insight on how having a big stack versus a large stack could also affect the game you pick.
So the small stacks want to play split pot games. They don't want to put their tournament life at risk playing games like No Limit Deuce Single Draw or PLO. The equities run pretty close in those games, but you're not really wanting to risk your entire tournament life on, say, a coin flip or a gamble. So Sternheimer did pick this game. We could see the yellow button in front of him. He picked Limit Omaha 8 or better. When it gets to one of the bigger stacks, they really are incentivized to try and knock out some of the shorter stacks and ladder. And the way they do that is by using their chip stack to their advantage and picking a game, say, PLO or Deuce Single Draw. It will be interesting. I think Dylan Smith is more known for big bet, so I expect him to pick games like Parliament Omaha. I assume Negreanu might want to play some stud variants because his opponents may not be as well versed in stud. The rest of the field, I really don't know what they think their strengths are, or more importantly, what they think the weaknesses are of their opponents.
Right, and the funny thing there is that if you were to ask a top player about his skill versus that of his opponent, he would always be inclined to say that he is better at whatever the game is than the opponent. So perhaps Dealer's Choice, more than anything, requires quite a bit of introspection at the poker table.
Yeah, it takes so much paying attention to every single piece of information you can get from your opponents.
Yeah, but I can't
if they show you something, say in Badeucey, that is just not something that you agree with or the way you would play the hand, you're going to pick Badeucey every single time to get their chips.
Negreanu picks up aces for the second time in just 3 hands. This time suited again with 5-3 along with it. So
too if you had this
these are incredible aces.
Hot start for Negreanu. Dylan Smith in the big blind with queens. Gets out of the way, doesn't want to get involved.
It's definitely a reasonable hand to continue for 100,000, but you really are only looking for a queen on the flop. It's very disciplined, and he wants to keep his stack as high as possible for the big bet games where he probably has an edge against the rest of this lineup.
Look at how wonderful this flop connects with Negreanu's low possibilities. 7 on the turn gives him the nut low. Sternheimer, of course, drawing to the nut flush on an unpaired board. But this is have potential to be quite painful for Sternheimer, who knows that Negreanu is likely to be on a strong low already.
Yeah, this is an amazing board for Daniel. He picks up the nut flush draw on the turn in hearts to go along with his full wheel wrap. Cannot lose the low, and a complete brick on the end.
Negreanu with a scooper here. As you can see, nothing for Sternheimer. And when I say nothing, I really mean it. This is like absolutely nothing. Whiffing on everything. The ace-6 for the low. Not even an emergency given the way the action has gone.
Yeah, it's really hard for him to call with the way the action went. There's so much money in there. I mean, you are getting 7-1 on your call. He does make the correct fold.
Ace, 3-5, and a flush draw. Believe it?
You're getting some hands.
I mean, I had ace 4-5, and this time ace 3-5 with heart.
All right, so don't blink now.
picked the right
Daniel
game for you.
Negreanu, in a matter of a
I
few
play.
hands, now the chip leader
That's what I
in
know.
this tournament.
I mean, the turn was pretty sick.
Flop, turn. River.
Yeah, the
river could
flop
be
is.
better.
I didn't have a heart. I didn't have a club. A little bit worried about that.
Oh, sorry.
But I had. Oh, sorry. It's like, how did you even get past the flop, right?
Let us know in the chat where you're watching from. Appreciate you all for tuning in. I know that when Negreanu makes the final table, we always have more viewers. So if you are strictly a Negreanu fan, I don't mind that at all. I think that's great. But please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. At least show us a little bit of love. We've been at it all week with the mixed games. Tomorrow, the grand finale, the 25K buy-in 10-game event, which has gotten underway in the main room a few hours ago. I'm pretty sure that this entire lineup will walk straight across the little hallway to jump into that one once they are done here. But it is great to see that Negreanu is off to a good start. Dzivielevski, Sternheimer, and Smith, as well as Schulman, all getting low on chips here.
I was following the live updates yesterday before I went to sleep, and it seemed like a lot of action was caused from people picking big bet games.
Interesting.
There were some really big O hands, PLO hands, no limits single draw hands. I think that comes from them being shorter handed than 7 and wanting to knock out the shorter stacks and deciding that they didn't want to play the limit split pot games. They wanted to really put their opponents to the test. Maxx Coleman was one of the shortest stacks with about 10 left and won some really massive all-in pots and came into today with the chip lead.
Donnie, Dealer's Choice. By the way, welcome to the show. Dealer's Choice includes such a wide variety of games. I sometimes think that whoever came up with Dealer's Choice took it a little bit too far and makes it sort of almost inaccessible for your average player who does love a bit of mixed game action.
Sure, I don't disagree with that thought, but I will say that these players, the pros,
Right.
Daniel chief among them, they consider this to be like the true test of who's the best poker player, right? Because it involves an additional level of strategy that you would see from, like, let's say a 10-game mix, or even greater if you want to go 12, 14, whatever it is, because you can call different games at different times. There's a strategy to that. Do you want to call a certain game based on how the table is playing? Do you want to call a certain game or avoid certain games based on what your stack size is? You know, there's all those different elements that come into play. So, you know, it's not just your standard mix. Yeah, there are up to 20 games that can be selected from, but, you know, you're going to also be calling things against certain players at your table based on your stack size, etc. So, very, very, very strategical.
So fun.
You just heard that in the background. Negreanu complimenting the format. He just loves
Especially when you're
the fact that
when
he
you
can
have
pick the game.
ace 3-5,
Ace
or queen 7, double suited off.
Notice
the
I
bat.
smile more when that happens.
Yeah,
He didn't even pick that game.
as well you should. No.
I know Daniel's even talked about the idea of taking the dealer's choice format and kind of boosting it up a little bit more in terms of, like, okay, maybe you can only pick every game once.
Oh, wow.
So then there's that whole, okay, no limit hold'em is my best game. Do I want to pick it early or do I wait? But if I wait, maybe I never even get a chance to play because I won't be in the tournament. So there's that element to things as well, and maybe that's the evolution of the dealer's choice format.
I love that. I'm in, Daniel. If you hear this later on, please make that happen. That sounds
I'll take
like a
it
phenomenal
first.
format.
It's definitely already on the mind of Commissioner Tim Duckworth, for sure. They've talked about it many times.
9 deuce 3 on the flop. Still playing limit 08. Schulman with a lock on the low if it comes in. Let's just start with that. Negreanu not wanting to tangle here. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Jimmy Blufford in the mix as always. Thank you for hanging out. R. Ben saying, I've thought of these as basically cash game
they got over there.
championships. I kind of like that. I kind of like the way of looking at it.
Actually.
Yeah? Like 4 tables?
5 tables.
Yeah, it's really hard to find a lot of these games
looks like a
in
good
tournament
tournament.
format. So people that play cash games have much more chance of playing
And late
exactly
reg is like
these
7 o'clock?
20 games and honing their
I think it's
skills.
the same
I think it's 45 minutes.
longer.
And you get more chips.
Nice. Okay, that makes sense.
It's like not that much longer, but extra 45.
Players talking about the 25K 10-game championship across the hall in the main studio room. Kicked off with 25, 26 players, something like that. So well on the way to another very good field. I would anticipate all these players to get in the mix there, right? So good stuff here. Really, really big numbers at the PGT Mixed Game Series.
Dzivielevski, superstar from Brazil. By the way, we have a PokerGO Brazil channel on YouTube. If you do speak Portuguese, go check them out. They have a lot of live streaming coming up as well, especially if this man continues to make deep runs, and he did so a lot during the WSOP last year. Dzivielevski, currently the shortest stack. Hard to get comfy here with just a pair of 10s.
So Negreanu hosts the 25K WSOP fantasy draft every year. And Daniel normally goes first or second. Yuri is always top 5. And then Schulman is probably top 8 to 10. So we have some really big superstars at this table. We're very well versed in mixed games. Everything missed. The low missed. Sternheimer failed to connect with a second pair. Yuri's one pair of 10s to go with the 9s on board are the best hand. Can he find even just a little bit of value?
10 seconds.
He's so short. I really like checking at this point.
10s announced with a bit of confidence here. And Dzivielevski raking this one in, leaving Sternheimer with just 550K.
This is what's known on, as I've heard this new term and I love it, the hand funeral. Who came up with that? Genius. Was it you, Nick?
No.
I love it. It's a great term. You know what it is?
Yes, of course.
Hand funeral. It's fucking the best.
That wasn't a.
No, I'm not saying it was, you know, but that is what it.
No, the funeral though is, I mean.
More.
Show.
Yeah, you look, you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
that was
let's see
more
that
like
hand.
the
Took a
wake.
moment.
Right, and then you look and you go like, what's
This
that?
wasn't a funeral. This was just like make sure that you're not misread your hand.
Yeah.
because-
Funeral would have been
No, I
more
know.
sighing and stuff.
Right, and looking at it goes, I'm sorry, what would you have again?
It's the same name?
And you do the face. You got to do a face where you're like, look, oh, yeah, nice flop. Great.
You guys play.
All right,
done.
playpokergo.com. Go check it out. Play
like
free
witness on?
online
Yeah,
poker
that's how you
available
meet
on
them.
web,
Yeah.
iOS, and Android. Scan the QR code right now and start playing for free wherever you are in the world.
I like the term though. It's just funny. Hand funeral.
So we did make
By
it
the way, you're a
around one
specialist
full
at that
orbit.
move.
The hand funerals?
And
I
Ryan
got
Miller
funerals,
has
for sure.
decided to pick the same
Well, yeah. I
game.
mean, what, you ain't never had a hand funeral?
Oh, I absolutely
You
have.
gotta respect the hand sometimes.
Another
You're like,
rule that
listen,
should be implemented. No
that?
no back-to-back games,
I have had one.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, yeah, that would be interesting.
Just like we saw yesterday with Maury, Schulman gets dealt a number
play
one
randomized?
Pat
Or is it all mine,
Badeucey,
yeah?
obviously
Oh,
in the
okay, I was
wrong
gonna say,
game.
'cause I-
But the odds of this happening, just getting dealt a
thought I
Pat
played that
Badeucey
good.
are really, really high. I don't even know the number off the top of my head.
When you said that, I had to double take what game we're playing.
Yeah.
I was about to get really excited.
You always get dealt the super strong Pat Badeuceys in other 4-card games.
Well, you
Normally
always
it's
get dealt the
Palmer-
hand in the wrong. You
Right.
see it with stud and Raz. You know,
Yeah.
you just always get dealt it. You see it with Omaha high low. You're playing PLO. You got an Omaha high low hand. Like, you know.
Right. Every time you're rolled up, it's always in Raz, even though it's like 1 in 420 times to be dealt rolled up. You just got to wait for that many more hands to get it in stud.
Keep an eye here on Sternheimer, who's betting. He's got 350K back after he lost some of those early pots. So things are getting dicey for Sternheimer.
Oh, that's the best card that he could have turned, I guess, except for the flush draw that Yuri picks up. It his pair of 9s into pair of 10s turned into 3 9s, way ahead of the pair of 10s of Yuri. I like the way that Sternheimer squeezes his cards. He looks at him vertically instead of horizontally, and he's got these big hands like I do. I don't know if I could train myself how to look at the cards like he does. But if we get to a 5-card game, it's actually really impressive how he cradles all the cards in both of his hands.
Sternheimer, the man behind the 100K Super High Roller Bowl mixed games. You know, he was the one who originally pitched it. He said, you know, Tim, listen, I think we can make this happen. Let me help you. And he's been really, really, really pushing it within the high stakes mixed games community. So shout out to Sternheimer for all that help there.
Time extension.
Sternheimer with almost nothing behind here, giving Dzivielevski a real decision.
He does call. He needs a 10, a 5, or a diamond.
Instead, Scooper for the short stack. Are you surprised Dzivielevski called the turn?
Not really. He does have a diamond draw. He does have 2 pair. Maybe if Sternheimer was bluffing, he doesn't want to put the rest of his chips in the middle. We just get to showdown for cheap. I think Yuri's good enough to find a fold here. Doesn't really think his 1 pair of 10s counterfeiting him with his 10s and 5s is good enough, and he doesn't even use a time
If
make.
that
He just
wasn't multi-way, I'd
lets
have
it
had
go.
a beautiful service for #1 Badeucey right there.
Ooh.
Flowers, everything. It would have been a long, one card at a time.
I do like
Isn't it
that
funny how
Schulman's
many,
kind of been
like,
keeping
cartwheels you
Negreanu
make
in
in
check a little bit here.
08 or PLO.
It is.
You know, earlier he mentioned, oh, it must be nice to start with all those really good hands.
Yeah.
He also said when Danny was talking about the funeral, he said, you know, you're a guy who does the funeral, you know, a little bit. So
I mean, all of these guys get so much airtime when it comes to final tables or making deep runs or playing the 50K. We've seen more of them than we have most people, so we understand their little quirks.
Once again, shout out to everyone in the chat hanging out with us. It's quite an exciting time to be able to show you so much mixed game action. And then, of course, we have the PGT PLO series coming up in just a little while, but not before the 100K Super High Roller Bowl mixed games, which kicks off on Thursday.
Most
100K
people that
buy-in.
Maxx spelled with 2X are porn stars.
I don't know, man. The only one looking like a porn star
Played
is
with the porn
Sternheimer
stars
with
yesterday.
those glasses over there.
Exactly.
Steve.
Final table. Steve Z. Z Productions.
Yeah,
You ever
true.
watch any of that old stuff?
Steve's old how was it the last final table?
Oh,
I don't know what any of this means. You
I
care to
haven't seen
enlighten me and the rest of the audience?
Yeah, you
Steve's
know,
quite good.
just some extracurricular activities from back in the day from old Stevie Z. You
Oh.
know, if you ever play him, see him out there,
You've
yeah,
seen it
have him
even
tell you
more.
some stories.
You
He's
know, I've been looking for it. I can't seem to find
Oh, we
it.
saw yesterday.
Guy's
he
been
loves
around
to
the
tell
block, okay?
stories.
Transcribed.
Him and Maury have stories for days.
I'll put eyes on that if you come across
Okay.
Z in his prime.
Z in his prime.
Maybe pick up a few things.
Coleman had a very nice hand starting pre-flop, just decides to give it up and loses to 1 pair from Ryan Miller. Neither player making a flush or a straight. No low possible.
Janan Tonic in the chat says, never been able to wrap my brain around PLO. Well, you better buckle up because we might get some games that even myself and Donnie cannot wrap our heads around because this is a 19-game rotation dealer's choice. If you're just joining us, Negreanu, Schulman, and all the others here, extremely
Crazy
well
how many
versed.
decades he's maintained that Fu Manchu. You know? He's 80, and he's had that since when? It's like we're talking 50 years of Fu Manchu with no breaks. Just,
Legend.
yeah.
Steve Zaltow,
Oh,
legend
wait, was he in
indeed.
front of the camera or behind the camera?
I think he was a little bit of both. Producer, director, as well as star.
And aces again for
Well,
Negreanu,
raise.
and a suited deuce along with it.
Just monstrous hand after monstrous hand coming for Negreanu. He didn't even pick this game. He's being rewarded by the deck. You'll love to see it. Sternheimer, another premium hand, very far behind the ace-ace deuce of Negreanu.
He is going to 3-bet, though. Is this where Negreanu just
raise?
kicks it back up? And there it is.
Yeah, it's two incredibly powerful hands going at it.
Wow. King, 10, 9, all spades. Negreanu flops the nut flush. No low will be created on this board. And Sternheimer with the absolute terrible flop here. It's going to see one for the small bet. 8 of clubs on the turn. Negreanu, of course, is just going to continue. Sternheimer drawing stone dead. He was hoping for a queen or a board pair, or perhaps he would have been okay just by making Broadway. Little does he know, Negreanu already has him absolutely crushed.
Yeah, he's hoping for a jack, but the worst part about drawing dead in poker is getting there. Always just cost you so many more chips. You can pretty easily deduce that Negreanu has an ace in his hand, at least one. He probably has ace-ace or ace-king with his 4-bet pre-flop. Probably has some sort of deuce, so we don't have the ace of spades in our hand, so the likelihood of Negreanu having it is way higher. It really does suck to give up this hand, but we do not have equity against any hand that Negreanu wants to 4-bet us.
It's going to give you guys, like, so if I raise, right? Don't do that, because you can't beat that. Why would you raise me? Right? Just know, when I open, it's something like this.
Flop.
Right? What a hand.
You've had tough spots.
Yeah, I've had some really tough spots so far. I'm playing great.
I really had to think about this.
Aces with 3 aces, but 6 was my highest kicker.
Yeah. And every time either flop, not low or not high.
Yeah.
Daniel Negreanu on
How do
an
I play?
absolute
You
tear.
play your game, I'll play mine.
And
I picked the game for you again.
more importantly, Kevin, this is not something we often address. He's winning pots
Yeah,
from
6
everyone, basically knocking everyone down a rung.
Yeah, I know,
and
only a 6
it looks like they're all
might
playing
have
for
to fold.
second right now.
Yeah, he is running away with this tournament. You'll love to see it. The second highest stack is Coleman with 1.8 million. Negreanu over 3. Bad news for Negreanu is his game choice isn't coming up for another 4 orbits. He doesn't have the liberty of picking a big bet game to pick on all these short stacks we're trying to ladder up.
I thought of another idea.
Oh.
The chip leader always picks the game.
Oh, wow.
So then you're always fighting for the pots.
That is.
And if you're the runaway chip leader, that's the benefit that you get, right?
I love that.
So
That
is
would
you
drive
could just have different
action.
variants of dealer's choice.
Yeah. What would you call that?
Captain's choice.
Captain's choice.
I'm in. Print the T-shirts. Somebody do the trademark. Somebody email legal. Let's go. Captain's choice.
Make it happen.
Oh, wow. Well, Miller with aces, but no low potential. Smith comes along from the big blind. We got 3-way action here. And look how quick these pots are building, even though this is just a single race pot. 650 in the middle on Jack 9 deuce 2 clubs. Negreanu with a small flush draw. Miller with the ace blocker. But this will not inspire much confidence unless you're Negreanu on the low side here with the backdoor option and a flush draw. Miller with aces, probably feeling pretty good about this.
And this is actually really interesting. If you look at the equities, Smith has flopped the full top wrap with the king, queen, 10 on the jack 9. Negreanu has the only flush draw with the 6-4, some backdoor straight draw possibilities, and Miller has aces with just the ace of clubs, no flush draw. Miller's equity is so low compared to the other two.
10 seconds.
That is a great fold. For one small bet, I don't know very many players who would make that fold. You have aces.
And Smith here picks up the straight on the turn. Negreanu now with the nut low draw and stays in possession of his flush draw. Smith, of course, no other option but to bet here after making his hand. Smith's going to fire at this with 500K behind. Negreanu, of course, not going anywhere. River is the 3 of hearts. This will result in a chop. For those new to this game, Negreanu using his ace and 4, along with deuce 8-3 to make the best possible low. Both players have the nuts on their respective side of this hand.
Yeah, Negreanu only has a pair of 3s for the high, but he does come with raise. This is really good. When Dylan is betting like this, he's representing a high side hand and knows that he can't be beat on the low side. So coming with a raise is just giving yourself a free roll for your opponent to potentially find a fold.
And Smith and Negreanu will chop a little bit of the chips that Miller
Just wanted to scare
invested
him
in
a
this
little.
one.
Yeah, I know. You know.
Hard to scare the nuts, but
What if he was kind of bluffing? You never know.
This event started with 65 entrants. 10 places got paid. John Racner, Walter Chambers, and Chino Ream ended up busting before the final table, but in the money. If you're just tuning in, the final 7 here guaranteed to $39,000. $292,000 up top. Negreanu now the front runner after starting with a middling stack. Donnie, I think it's time to look at some numbers here. Chino Ream has had a good series. What else can you tell us about who's still in contention for the overall title here at the PGT Mixed Games?
Right before I get to that, let me add to what you just said. This is a record for a 15K buy-in mixed games tournament here at the studio. The previous record was 47 entries, so wow, 18 entries better. That was from way back in 2022 during the US Poker Open. There was an 8-game event. So record-setting field here. Now, for the leaderboard, here's what we got. Ryan Miller, who won the 3rd event, the 10K horse, he's currently in 2nd behind Chino Ream. Now, Chino Ream did finish 8th in this tournament, bubbling the final table, picking up some additional points to pad his lead. He's up on top with 384. Ryan Miller is in 2nd with 254. Ryan Miller can finish 1st or 2nd in this tournament and overtake Chino. I'll let you do this, and then I'll get back to it.
Yeah, we cannot forget about Stephen Chitwick, who is representing OccupyPoker.ai. You can drill real spots from PGT final tables at the ultimate poker lab for everyone. Head on over to OccupyPoker.ai and subscribe right now. They have free plans and paid plans available. And I promise you, you'll never be done learning if you sign up to Occupy Poker.
Clyde the dealer.
And then we have Max Coleman, who won yesterday.
Yes.
If he wins, he could possibly overtake Chino. It depends on obviously how Ryan Miller does.
Look it up.
And then Nick
That's
Schulman,
I don't know, but
if he wins as well,
what's your YouTube,
could
buddy?
overtake.
Snack attack.
What's your YouTube?
Clyde the Stack Attack Gasket.
What?
Clyde the Stack Attack Gasket.
Gaskins.
Clyde?
Gaskins.
Yeah.
Clyde with a Y. The snack attack Gaskins.
Okay, so Clyde the Snack Attack, you'll find him.
Smash that like and yeah.
All right.
There it is.
Clyde
There he is.
Snack
There's the
Attack.
man, Clyde.
The Snack Attack. If you want to find him, search for Clyde the Snack Attack on YouTube. He's done interviews with a wide variety of top players. Most recently, Jesse Lonis and Kristen Foxen Alex and Kristen Foxen. This might have been the first ever duo podcast that they've done as a couple.
So I'm not going to confirm or deny if I've seen this, but my girlfriend watches Queer Eye every season.
Yes.
That was the guy, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
he was on it.
He
yeah.
was the guy,
Yeah,
okay.
he was on it.
We watched it also at home. He was on Queer Eye. Shout out to Clyde. Got some action brewing here, though. Ace on the turn. Both players with flush draw, ace high and king high, both in play. Coleman, though, in a terrific spot here, pairing his ace after flopping a 10, also with a much better low situation. Miller open-ended with a straight, doesn't come in. And a scooper for Coleman here.
Coleman's going to bet here on the end.
Yeah, this is a really, really tough spot for Miller. It's so hard when you play this game without an ace, where other players are so highly incentivized to play with an ace. We can't beat anything that contains an ace.
Miller and Coleman have both won events at the PGT Mixed Game Series already. Miller, the winner of event number 3, 10K horse for $247,000, and then that man right there, Max Coleman, won the $10,000 Maury's mix, beating Maury Eskandani yesterday. $210,000 for Max Coleman. Both these players are very, very, very good, very experienced, and extremely versatile when it comes to all the different games. Coleman probably a little bit more out there in terms of the tournament spotlight. Miller has been gaining ground in that tournament spotlight recently.
Yeah,
He's won 2 bracelets recently, but mostly a cash game player from the East Coast, but extremely good is Ryan Miller.
Okay, so as we just heard, Schulman is choosing the game next after this final hand of limit
You know, I was thinking about running the 08 back, but it would just be too brutal for the people
Just to watch
paying their hard-earned money to.
What would you say? You wonder, is it me?
Look at Nick. Looking out for the people. Looking out for the viewers.
No more whistling. Okay?
Instead of turning this tournament into a 50K Omaha 8 or better tournament. It would kind of be like, remember back in the day, mixed game tournaments, they would just make them play no limit hold'em at the end because of the TV element to it.
Yep.
Here we're just going to make them play Omaha high low. That's what dealer's choice up until the final table. Then it's just
So with the stack sizes the way they are, Coleman and Negreanu are pretty far ahead of everyone else. Schulman is kind of incentivized to choose a big bet game to knock out the people that are lower than him, being Sternheimer, Miller, and Dzivielevski. But if he wants to continue with this, small ball limit split pot game, he could choose a game like Stud 8. But I think he's going to land on some sort of big bet game.
10 seconds.
Another tussle between the 2 big stacks at the table. Negreanu flopping huge. Top set with a good low draw and a gut shot. Coleman with second pair and that same low draw gut shot. Negreanu does get the check raise in on the flop.
I'm not sure I've seen Daniel ever run this hot. I mean, this is
I mean, we saw the 50K final table last year. There was some luck involved for sure.
Well, of course, yes. I mean, there's always going to be luck involved in poker, definitely.
The rush definitely feels different in limit games, though, as the ace of spades hits on the river.
Both players actually really happy with that card, giving them each the nut low, playing the 3 deuce in their hand. Negreanu will win the high portion of this with the 3 jacks and take 3/4 of this pot, only to build his lead.
Tough decisions today.
Negreanu keeps on running hot, taking 3/4 here. Knocking Coleman down a bit again.
He has almost double the amount of chips as the next person. Schulman, no limit, single draw, deuce to 7 is what it looked like.
There he did. I'm glad a queen didn't come.
Is anyone shocked if that's what he picks?
Not at all.
I mean, one of my average flops.
Interestingly, they just announced that there'll be 3 more hands at this level, which means Schulman will have to pay the big blind at this level and not the next level, which incentivizes him even more to choose a big bet game.
Nick Schulman having WSOP championship bracelets in both, twice in no limit, deuce to 7, single draw in 2009 and 2012. Also has a runner-up finish in that event in 2015. So safe to say that Schulman, the top dog when it comes to no limit deuce. Many consider this the ultimate form of poker, the purest form of poker. 2 rounds of betting, all in, whenever you want. And just to those who've never played it before, you're trying to make 7-5-4-3 deuce. You don't want to make a flush or a straight.
Deuce.
But because there's only 2 rounds of betting,
There's
definitely some showdown value involved.
I mean,
with far lesser hands than a 7 low.
As it pertains to the WSOP all-time money list in this game, Schulman is second, only by 10K, outdone by Eric Seidel, but Schulman has won
like Austin,
828K with the
flops,
WSOP
Then flop
on this
like
tournament alone.
nuts.
Wow.
Nut. And I never had anything marginal. The ace 3 4 6. Oh, only a 6-high flush draw and nut low draw on the turn. That was my worst one.
This is a hand you want to play. Miller is kind of short. You are drawing to a straight, but that does give you some sort of bluff equity. You are drawing to the nuts if you hit a deuce. An 8, a 9, or a 10 are also very reasonable cards to catch.
Flush dealt to Dzivielevski. That's a different game. 5-card draw, also part of the mix, by the way, to you watching at home, playing on the kitchen table growing up. Yes, that version, 5-card draw, is part of this dealer's choice. And Sternheimer here, you know, there's talk always about Jack sort of being the average showdown hand. Jack 10-9, of course, not a hand you can break. Doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense.
I would suspect he just moves all in and pats at this point. He's just kind of balancing himself.
375.
It is kind of scary against an under-the-gun raise from another short stack.
425.
And you're kind of just hoping that your jack is good at this point, but I think we'll see an all-in and a call, and then we'll run it.
And then that's also to the point, you know, if that's scary, then it's scary for Miller, even though we can see he's going to draw to the 7-5-4-3, right?
True.
Like, it's, you know, he knows that another short stack is jamming on him, and he opened under the gun, so.
All right, so Sternheimer at risk, not going to draw any cards, thinking his Jack 10-9 will be the winner, and definitely a favorite against the draw.
It's very close. It's basically exactly a coin flip. Miller pairs up.
Yeah, Miller pairs is 4, so Sternheimer is going to get the double up, and Miller now down to just 300,000.
Sternheimer, one of those players who
give you a time card?
frequents ultra high stakes cash games.
I think I used one time extension.
Is Ultra even higher than whatever high used to be?
I mean, I'm talking about the cash games that don't run often, you know, 1K, 2K, 2K, 4K, stuff like that, you know. Sternheimer will be in there battling. The ones that kind of only come together a few times a year, right?
And during the summer, of course.
Yes.
That's when you have everyone in town, and those games often run around the clock. I remember once running into Jason Mercer. This is a long time ago. I ran into him at Bellagio, and I said, "Hey, where are you going?" He goes, "Oh, I'm just going to my room." And I go, "How's it going?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm 40 hours into a session. I'm just gonna take a quick shower and get back to it."
Hey, at least he was looking out for everyone else's well-being.
No, I think he was trying to stay
Yeah,
awake.
I was gonna say he's probably
He might have been a cold shower. Go wake up a little bit, cold shower, bust out some push-ups, try and get the blood flowing, get back down there, hope to last another 12, 15 hours or something.
Yeah, question for the chat and also the guys in the booth with me here. What's the longest poker session you've ever played? Donnie, I'll start with you.
I think around 30, 32 hours.
Oh.
Foxwoods back in the day. I went to leave, snowstorm, so I was like, okay, I'm not driving home 2 hours in the snow, so I'll just stay overnight. I played all through the night, played till like 11 in the morning, 10 or 11 in the morning the next morning. Went into my car, slept for a couple hours, and then drove home in the afternoon.
Wow. Kevin, what about you?
So I actually remember this quite vividly. This is when I first started playing poker. I was still in college, and I was playing 1-2 no limit at the local casino, and I was down money, and I told myself I'm never leaving this game until I'm even, and the 29th hour I got even. Finally, up like 40 bucks and left.
I was also playing 1-2 no limit.
Yeah, that's just how it is.
What was I doing? I remember the game was minimum buying $40, maximum buying $100 back in the time. And there was a trick that you could buy in for 40.
Yeah. How many?
Sorry, you could buy in for 41. You could post your $2 big blind, get down to 39, then you could add another 100. So then you would get up to 139. And
Because
if some other people were around $100, you would essentially have them covered. That was the
One
trick.
big bag.
Yeah, one
big bag.
Yeah.
You've never worn the same outfit in poker, right? Twice.
It's not true.
The Imelda Marcos of Pokel.
Yuri, one of the most fashionable people in the game, for sure.
Dylan Smith dealt a monster here. Pat 9876. Remember, you want to make your lowest deuce to 7 hand, which means aces are high, straights and flushes are bad. So the best hand you can make is 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. With one draw, it's very, very difficult to make the hand
I was curious
that
because if you
Dylan
travel
has
with,
made.
like, that's when I travel.
just
I
one
used to
suitcase and
always try to think about how, how to fit everything. Because when I travel, I bring food usually.
Yeah.
So half my suitcase is food, and the other half.
Actually folding around
Yeah.
Schulman in the big blinds. And Smith is going to let a good one go to waste here. Smith, a
it's like
World Poker Tour champion,
310.
won the
Yeah,
seminal
I have like a
WPT
when I
Rock
shoot
and Roll
jackets
Open
when I pack
November
I always,
last
like,
year.
have a list.
Yeah,
for 600K.
I asked
Like,
ChatGPT actually.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, yeah.
What?
It's pretty good.
And it tells you like what to bring.
Yeah.
So you just say, I'm traveling for 2 weeks. What should I
To play
bring?
poker, yeah, exactly.
That's incredible. It's like so sick what that shit can do to.
Yeah.
I guess they're talking about some sort of AI app
We
that
should
tells
have,
you exactly what to bring if you're going on a trip.
we should have his AI do commentary, Donnie. Sure.
That's a real big blind right there.
Yeah. We're playing the game
Big
now.
boy. Big boy blind.
I was trying to get you out of here with this game. You rose from the dead, rose from the ashes in the big.
See, Schulman saying that
Like
he
Phoenix.
was trying to use the game to punish the shorter stacks.
Is this the only game of the 1.5, or what is there?
Any of the single draw big bet games.
Oh, so 5-card draw is also 1.5, and that's it, right? Just those
And,
two.
yeah.
At the World Series, No Limit Hold'em has 1.5
Yeah.
as well.
Does it? In
Yeah.
the dealer's choice?
Yeah.
I never noticed that.
In any kind of mix.
Wow. PLO 1.5, everything?
Not innate game.
Yellow is the same as big blind, but
Just
no limit
no
hold
limit,
them. The 50K as well.
Yeah.
First championship.
I have a good
That I
story.
remember, but
I have a good
this is
story about
you
that.
opened and he's all in.
All right, Miller all in here. Jack 10, 9, 6, 3, a hand that he cannot draw with. Negreanu with the initial raiser, as you can see, drawing to a 10, 9, 8, which means that he's drawing to a better hand.
Good news for you. I was stealing, big time.
Negreanu was
Yeah, I
using
really
his stack
doing my money.
to his
I'm gonna-
advantage and still
I
giving
don't
his
know, pray
opponent
that
so
you're
much
fucking-
information.
You taking one? No.
Live off.
I might be. I might not be. Oh, I am live. That's crazy.
All right, so Negreanu searching for.
It is a 2 across.
2 across is death for Miller.
All right, Ryan Miller eliminated in 7th
so we were
place,
in the
just
1500
like that.
dealers
Negreanu
choice.
makes a 10-9.
And No Limit
that
comes
spells
up,
the
and
end
it's like,
for
you got to put in 1.5
Miller,
XBB. I'm like,
winner of
no,
an event
it's
earlier
only
this
like
week.
single draw. And we get into like an argument, and I'm like, okay, so let's bet. He's like, sure, I'll bet you. How much? I'm
Who's
like,
this
I don't
with?
know. He's like 1,000. I'm like, how about 2,000? Okay. So
Who are
I'm
you
like,
betting it with?
1x big blind. He says 1.5. We call the floor over. Floor comes over. Yeah, it's No Limit Hold'em. It's just 1x big blind.
Who are you talking about? Who are you betting?
This was with some random dude at the last year's World
What's up,
Series.
Chino? Chino, they had the audacity to play Omaha 8.
So I don't
and
say
got
anything. I'm like,
ace.
okay, the guy's a little tilted.
Yeah, aces
Sort
4
of
times.
half an hour goes by. I'm like, you know, do you want to maybe pay me? He's like,
right here.
I'm not going to pay you. I'm like, are you disputing like the bet? It's like, no, I'm just not going to pay you. So let me get this straight. Like, you think I legit won the bet, but you're not going to pay me? Yeah, I'm not going to pay you. So this gets like super awkward and super tense until after like half an hour, he was like, look, I apologize. I was being an asshole. Like, here's the money. Gives me 2,000. Then the floor comes over. So I know, so sorry, I say, you know what? Like, I don't want your money. That I insist you should pay the bet, but I'm just going to give the money. I'm going to give every dealer $100 today. And then the floor comes over. 10 minutes later, we actually made a mistake. It's 1.5x.
I was at the table over when
To
this
his
was
credit,
happening,
he
and
then
I heard
decided to just give
everything.
his. I gave him the. He just then donated to the dealer, so no one won or lost any money.
Well, I hope you guys caught that story through Chino showing up and everyone talking over each other, which of course par for the course in the mixed game scenario. By the way, shout out Chino, who always checks in on the final table here as Negreanu again raises it up, and this time with a very powerful 1-card draw.
Sternheimer on 900K has a powerful 8 low draw.
Normal circumstances, this is just a call in position. He could do something a little crazy and go all in, but I think there's more ICM pressure than you probably give it credit for. So I like calling in this spot. But yeah, the story, I was at the table next to it, and one of my friends was at the table, and they came over and asked me, and I knew exactly what the right answer was, and I was shocked when the original floor came over, made the wrong ruling, made the guy pay the money.
That's actually a super funny story. By the way, Negreanu up to 4 million chips. Looking for some more here.
Could we get another customer here in Coleman?
I think if he's calling, he's going to break and draw to the 10-6. It's really dicey to have a jack in your hand when you're 3 ways.
Oh,
He's
2
taking
cards.
2. I like it. I like it a lot. You're going for a hand that you can go to war with. Maybe he can draw 2 perfect cards and win a very sizable pot.
Wow. Negreanu makes a 7-6. Absolute monster, and the rush of cards for the Hall of Famer continues. Coleman left with a Jack-9. Sternheimer, who needs it the most, pairs his 8. Action on Negreanu. It's going to be tough to make a whole lot of money here, though.
I mean, what a pull here for Daniel.
All in.
And he's just going to jam, hoping that any of his opponents have made a hand.
Is part of this Daniel trying to make it look like he could possibly be bluffing?
That's exactly what he's doing. He gave the whole speech on the last hand of, "Oh, I was trying to steal. I hope I'm even live at this point." He's trying to give off the image of, "I have a lot of chips. I'm going to try and bully you guys, push you around," but
Top pair.
he just has the
You at top pair?
has the
Yeah,
goods.
Good fold. You didn't want to catch whatever you were going to.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay, you say so.
Would have been the end.
Hmm?
Would have been the end for you. Yeah.
How do you
I
know?
thought that
I'm
might be
100%
old
sure.
top pair Daniel there.
Yeah.
All in.
TPTK.
Dang.
I mean, you get a 7, you got a money in.
I hear you.
Wow, nice bluff.
Yeah, a couple of 7s over there.
I made something too.
Couldn't beat that.
Yeah, I believe
What is
you.
it, 75 and what's the middle?
50.
Heavens, the best.
Guys, I had a 7, okay?
You had A7 or pair.
I had a 7, and I didn't have any.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
You named
You didn't think
4
about
of my
sliding
cards.
Huh?
You slid the check over there. My word. Bet call. All in call in front of you.
Yeah, that would have been pretty sick.
Would have been bet max
done
call.
that.
You shoved.
I just didn't depend on Philip to bet. But would have
You
worked.
can never count on me to bet.
I mean, Phil had the best bluff candidate for him to bet, but with his stack, he probably would have just checked it back, and Negreanu wins the exact same amount.
Well, now it's Schulman's turn.
You're
to have
running
a strong
pure,
draw.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Running pure. It's not going to end well.
Caught a 2 across club.
You're running hot in the early levels.
Yeah.
Poker's all right.
I mean, we're not even an hour in, and I feel like Negreanu hasn't lost a hand yet. It is insane. He is up 3.4 million from his starting stack. Everyone else is down chips, except for Schulman, who's up a measly 125,000 as he decides to shove here. And Coleman finds the pad 9-8. Coleman out of position, which is not unimportant.
Schulman did this because he has what we call a convertible hand. If your opponent is drawing 1, you can stay pat with the Jack-7 and be a slight equity favorite. If your opponent stays pat in front of you, you can decide to break and draw to a 7, which most of the time will win the pot.
Coleman doing some math here, calculating how much this is going to be for, and he does make the call.
Good luck. Pat.
Coleman's a very big equity favorite.
Coleman announces pat. Instant draw here for Schulman. 1 card to come. He's got tons of outs. Can he find one?
A couple of 9s were folded from Daniel, too, so keep that in mind.
Right. So he has like 10 outs
Mind if I
to
squeeze?
improve
Squeeze
his
away.
hand.
Okay. Just gather myself here, suits-wise.
Make sure he knows what suit
The
it
mental
is.
masturbation
There's nothing
begins.
across.
Oh, baby.
Nothing across.
Yeah.
It's a club. We
Nothing
like
across
a club.
50-50.
There it is.
And Nick Schulman makes a 7-6 to double through Coleman. He now up to $2 million. The two biggest stars at the table doing quite well here. Schulman in his favorite and possibly best game, finding the double up in the game
He
that
was
he
really
called
gathering yourself there, Nick.
on this orbit.
For the suits, but if we're gonna squeeze, let's have an accurate squeeze.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I would assume Schulman is somewhere around 25% to win that pot with some of the dead cards that we saw. So running pretty hot to make that hand.
Just like that, Coleman's just gone tumbling the other way.
Donnie, we should add a new feature to our card graphics. If a player is going to squeeze, the graphic should also slowly squeeze on the side.
I mean,
that'd be great.
We should not show it. I was watching Nick squeeze. I was trying to block out the graphics, so I was watching the squeeze. I want to sweat with the player.
Yeah, he said no across, which means 1 and 3. Then he said club, which means 1 and 2 because we know where the deuce of clubs was. And then he flipped over the 3 for the winning hand.
For people who are watching and who don't watch mixed games, yes, it sounds like a circus sometimes with the squeezing and the way that the games are played, but I promise you it is well worth learning all these games, or at least enjoy this roller coaster for what it is, because we got the two big names with the big stacks. And I can only imagine we got lots of all-ins coming with how short some of these other players are getting. Action folds to Negreanu here in the small blinds with an absolute nothing burger.
He does have so many chips and can apply max pressure, putting Yuri to the test. He has to really find something special to call here.
Not like I was proud of the
Your pick. What are you picking?
Dylan.
Let's do Badeucey.
Our first run at Badeucey. You love to see it. One of my favorite games.
All right, now things will get interesting. We are calling Badeucey. Badeucey, Badeucey, Badeucey. It can all sound a bit confusing, but let's stick to the rules of this one. Badeucey is a split pot game between Badeucey and deuce to 7 triple draw.
You deserve it.
We're playing 3 draws the
Work
same
hard,
we would
try
otherwise
hard.
in other draw games. It's a limit game.
Phil
It's a
Kessler's
split
a hockey
pot
player.
game, and
Used to say about
it's
guys who
also
weren't very good. He's like
a little bit slow.
tries hard,
A little
loves the
bit
game.
slow.
Great guy.
Aces are bad
That was the
all
way of
around.
saying,
You still want to make best 2, 3, 4,
Loves the
5,
game,
7
tries hard.
with a 2, 3, 4, 5 Badeucey. The #1 strategy to remember in this game is you always want to focus on the Badeucey part first. You want to make at least a good 3-card Badeucey, and a 4-card Badeucey is good a lot of the time, and then you focus on your 5-card hand. So if you start with a hand like 2, 3, 4, 7 with the 2, 3, 4 of spades, you don't really want to play that hand.
I gotta say it out loud so that I remember that it's not Badeucey. You know, it works. I have to keep saying it. Badeucey, Badeucey, Badeucey.
Negreanu was spot on. It's an easy mistake to
How
make.
do you make sure? Just look.
I just know.
But sometimes when you're sitting out,
Makes you wonder why both games even
hard to
exist.
see if it's an A
I
or
feel like I only ever misplay it the other way,
where you.
where I'm playing Badeucey, but I try to play Badeucey.
I think this might be the first
the
televised.
safer way.
That's a much better
what I
way
was
to
going
do
for.
it. It's much
Just
safer.
want to make
Pioneer.
history.
Yeah.
Dylan
I
Smith
didn't want to
picked
have to show my Badeucey prowess to.
To the world, all the tricks.
Interesting note there. I don't know who said it,
Must
but
be tilted.
it might
And then
be
he
the
plays
first
the
time
game every game.
Badeucey's ever shown on TV.
Okay, so this hand looks good because you have a deuce, a 6, and a 7, but you only have a 2-card Badeucey because your deuce and your 7 are the same suit.
Raisy daisy, Badeucey, Raisy Badeucey, whatever.
So Negreanu with a 3-card Badeucey. Actually, Negreanu with the Badeucey, but can't really play this hand to showdown.
No, you definitely want to draw 2 with Negreanu's hand. He's just using his stack. to-
Jack, bro. I mean,
You gonna pat it?
Right. He was definitely going to draw.
probably wins. Patting it too.
Now,
You know.
is there a
Street's
difference
probably
in the way the
fucking
games play between Badeucey and Badeucey?
What do I know?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Badeucey, so
All ace to
Profitable either
5
way,
games
yeah,
are
I'm not gonna
slightly easier because
Against
straights
random
don't
hand?
count against you.
You gotta
The thing
ask
that
Chad, not
makes
yeah,
the
exactly.
deuce game
Chad.
so much more difficult is avoiding making straights. So Badeucey, you can start with, say, a hand like 7,
Don't know.
4.
He V-pips 80% in his hand, and it's grim.
In Badeucey, you really want to start with an ace in your hand.
He might be the wrong guy to ask for Badeucey final table advice, though. You know?
Chatty.
Yeah.
His is go for it. he's in go for it mode.
He's an animal.
He'd be doing some D4s.
He does get the Stone Cold animal rating.
Maximum.
Negreanu with another
Crazy
hand
daisy.
that he's going to raise. This time, I would suspect Negreanu is going to draw 1 because he's already made his Badeucey. It's not a great Badeucey, being a 9-7, 4-3, assuming he gets action.
Yeah, and you guys probably
he
think I'm
won't.
just messing around, right?
Not me.
Jack?
No way.
Oh,
Not me. The second
9
Hatsu
jack.
50
That's how you
came
say
out
it, right?
there.
9 jack. Did I get that right?
And Jack.
Proper lingo.
Yeah. Just make sure you pat the jack all the way.
Oh, of course. What, you think I'm going to break a made hand with only 3 draws left?
You didn't even whistle.
No, I didn't even whistle. That was a whistle. I could whistle with that hand.
Negreanu's over
I mean, if you
5
were to win
million
this, then
chips
you at
now.
least know there was no skill involved.
Almost 3 times
That's
second
very
place.
true. None. None whatsoever. Literally. Nothing I've done
Smack
today.
talking, whistling.
Literally nothing I've done today is
Cards.
is at all. What do you call it?
Let's play some cards.
Nothing I've done today.
Trenton in the chat says, I listened to all of that. Fine job by the
Special,
commentators, I'm
interesting
sure.
humor.
I still understand nothing.
vocabulary.
That's literally what Badeucey feels like, Badeucey to all people that are watching, I'm sure. By the way, probably setting the record for highest viewership of a Badeucey hand in the history of poker right
Nice.
now.
You know,
Let's
Philip, I
go.
got here.
Smash that
Grinding,
like button.
You know, just like everybody else. Now it's just can't help it. But
Can we
I
get to
mean,
1,000 likes
give
during
me the absolute
Badeucey?
nuts every single hand. I'm gonna have to.
Once
Raise
again,
daisy.
not really a hand you should play because your deuce and your
Badeucey
3 are
daisy.
the same suit. Negreanu only has
Every
2
single hand I get
to a Badeucey with his 2-3-5, but as you see, his chip stack just warrants him raising every single pot. His opponents really need to wake up with something to contest, and he just wins a 3rd hand in a row.
That time I was drawing.
Negreanu playing face up, you know, letting the players at the table know how good the rush is.
Some of these players are getting dangerously short. We need to send some help their way. Anybody got any oxygen?
I mean, if Negreanu keeps all of them short in this way, there's less and less incentive for them to play a hand because other players will be all in before them. And the pay jumps today are not insignificant. You know, this is not some $500 buy-in event. 15K was the buy-in of this event, nearly $300,000 up top. Negreanu still in search of his first dealer's choice title.
This would be a little too egregious to open under the gun with a
Raising
2-card
daisy.
4-5. Oh my gosh, he is just putting the pressure on.
Negreanu, of course, thinking to himself, first of all, they're likely to fold. Second of all, I have 3 draws.
Right. Schulman's coming in. This is a monstrous hand.
do?
You have a
believe it's a
2-4-7
raise.
Badeucey with a wheel draw for the 5-card hand. So I suspect Negreanu's going to take 3. Schulman's going to take 1. Smith's going to come in there too with his 2-5-6. We're going to get a big pot.
Oh,
Wow, he's just letting Negreanu take it. 2-3-6 for Coleman too.
Coleman in the big blind. Now, this game is limit, so it gets increasingly expensive to continue drawing, which is a massive advantage for Negreanu. The thing here, though, is that a lot will be revealed about the strength of Negreanu's hand when the first draw happens, which will put Schulman in the driver's seat to apply pressure the other way.
Right. And we can see Maxx actually should fold this hand if he knows what cards are in his opponent's hand. The 4 of spades and the 5 of spades dead, which are his 2 best cards. He's looking for exactly the 7 or 8 or 9 of spades to continue in this hand. That's an amazing fold. Maybe he just believes Schulman.
Negreanu drawing 2, Schulman drawing 1.
Okay, so if Daniel's drawing 2, that means he kept the 9, I
It's
would
going to be
assume.
a check for me.
And Negreanu with the draw disadvantage here, 2 versus Schulman's 1, is going to slow down. And as it is a custom in these games, when you have the lead or the perceived lead, you generally want to bet.
Yes.
Schulman does make a queen Badeucey queen low, which not really a showdown hand, but
This may be too much, but of note, if Coleman was in the hand, he would have caught exactly the 8 of spades, which is the second best card he could have caught, and he would have had a massive lead in this hand, drawing to an 8-6 with an 8 Badeucey.
So ace is bad in this game, so Negreanu does not find a way to improve. It is a diamond, but that, of course, doesn't help him. And Schulman stays Badeucey, if that's the way to put it, by catching a heart. But still, it's only a king low, so we're not excited about that.
No, not at all. Maybe if it was a jack or a 10, you could stay patent and hope Negreanu doesn't catch up.
So Negreanu draws 1. Now, just to keep in line with how this game works, Negreanu is looking for a low diamond card. That is what he's looking for.
All right.
Schulman is looking for a low heart.
Phew. Yeah, we see all the 3s are dead, so Schulman cannot make a wheel this hand.
Negreanu
makes
a 9-8 both ways, and Schulman catches the ace of spades.
My bet.
Wow.
We know that the deuce and 6 of diamonds were dead from previous hands. The 8 of diamonds is the exact perfect card that Negreanu could have caught for him to win this entire pot. This is crazy.
And stone worst card for Schulman here.
Yeah, he is not happy. Negreanu is still just...
Oh,
he must have got some sun this morning and is just running hotter than the sun.
How did you fold that?
That is crazy.
9-9. 9-9.
A 9 both ways for Negreanu, and he is up to a whopping 6.2 million chips. That is 65% of the chips in play, with 6 players remaining, mind you.
Isn't it?
Yeah, you have to feel for Schulman there. His equity going into that last draw was so much higher than Negreanu's both
Yeah, I should
ways.
have drawn a little cleaner to begin with, but no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I had deuce 4-7 and a 5, and then I caught an ace. I mean,
Yeah.
it didn't seem like I found some amazing.
No.
Yeah,
But I'm
he
saying you
just
didn't have-
drew
you had
ace,
deuce four,
king, ace,
5
and
Badeucey.
just
Deuce 4-7.
can't.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Playing
Schulman,
Badeucey,
you
right?
You were in good
played
shape,
exactly correctly.
Yeah, sometimes you're just out, you know. But
No,
of
but you
course,
were
you're
in good
whistling,
shape. I was
just,
like-
I'm in, now I bet. Like,
I had real dust, and I made a 9.
I believe you, my friend.
3 across diamond.
I had the button and a wheel draw and all sorts of stuff.
I had the
was
big
thinking
stack.
about the 3 of
I was
hearts
like-
after the now I bet, and
I threw away
I
so
almost
many
couldn't
hearts.
take it. It was so exciting.
Yeah, I threw away so many hearts.
Yeah,
Lots.
checks out as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Started with 3.
I don't think Negreanu's lost a chip since we started this final table. It is
Now we're
crazy. Every hand he gets into,
Back
he
on the
just
grind.
gets rewarded.
Evans to Betsy.
Negreanu up 5 million. 3 to a 7-5 here for Schulman.
It's worked out.
Two card draw.
Doesn't matter
In the
what you guys
cutoff,
pick
I
up,
don't
the
mind
winner.
raising with this hand.
Oh,
It's
okay,
generally
well,
not a great hand because
That
you
one
don't
actually
have
was
a
not
deuce
skill. That
in
was the
it.
opposite of skill to last hand. That was just really bad, but I didn't care, you know?
How about now?
Oh, how about now? Let's see.
Please fold.
No, Daniel's going to call. He's never folding this. The only decision is
Really
do you
shouldn't.
draw 2 or do you draw 3? I think you call and draw 3 with the deuce 4.
Can't do it.
Okay,
Sorry.
you can play.
All right,
Take,
Negreanu
take
versus
3,
Schulman.
Daniel.
I love this.
He's making the same decision that I just made, but I think it's correct to draw 3 to make yourself a
Give
better
him
Badeucey.
5 fresh ones.
I'll do.
He's going to take 2 instead.
All that tanking and thinking about it probably tips off the strength of his hand to Schulman, saying that he probably doesn't have a 3 card.
2-0 burgers for Negreanu
Badeucey.
here as he catches aces.
Check.
Schulman does improve.
We see that the best card that Schulman could catch, being the deuce of diamonds, is in Negreanu's hand. Schulman has fewer and fewer outs. I think this goes check, check, and 2-2 again.
2. 2.
Schulman making the correct play to throw away the 6 of clubs. It doesn't help your Badeucey hand, and it gives you a straight draw.
Interesting to note that if you're trying to pick up on this game. And Schulman staying in the wheelhouse with a 7-7-5-4 deuce. Now,
Negreanu is betting with the strength of his 10 Badeucey, which is most of the time good in this spot. As we can see, Schulman does pair his 7s. He still only has a 3 card, being 2-4-7.
now also keep an eye on Schulman's stack size. which he knows that Negreanu is probably going to bet one more time.
Yeah, we can't go anywhere for this price with such a good hand. Keep the diamond, Nick. Keep the diamond, buddy. Have you ever heard of the Badeucey shuffle?
No.
So if you have two of the same cards that are paired and you need both suits, you put them face down in front of you, scramble them up in front of you so even you don't know which one you're discarding, and then you just leave it up to the poker gods to decide.
That's the original randomizing.
Right.
As Schulman does toss one of his 7s, let's see which one he tossed.
Wow, Negreanu catches his second perfect card, second best card he can catch, and Schulman catches the worst card, being an ace.
Again, disaster for Schulman on the third draw, and the Daniel Negreanu hot streak continues burning brightly here at this final table. It is absolutely unbelievable what is happening here at this final table. Schulman might need to catch a breath outside here, because this is just insanity. I've never seen anything like this. With nobody busting, Negreanu winning pots off every player at the table and getting them all down to basically 2 big bets. Two to three big bets.
This is absolutely amazing. Scooping in Badeucey twice in a row.
Hard to believe. Not a really pleasant hand right here. The deuce 4-7 and the ace. And I might have broken the wrong pair.
10 seconds.
He did keep the diamond, but the ace of diamonds is going to save him when he finds the fold on this river.
Time extension.
What if you just have like, wow. What if I just scoop by accident? I don't think so. No. If you just have like 35-8 to 6? What the fuck is going on here? Where's Chad? Where's my man Chad at?
Time extension.
Schulman on his third time extension. This is for half of his remaining stack. I like that he has the cards in his hand. More likely to fold with the cards in his hand than chips in his hand.
10 seconds.
Oh no, he did the whatever, man.
Right now. What am I even doing? It's Badeucey, right, Deuce?
Good fold.
Schulman does find a way.
Yes, I believe you.
But I made it.
Excellent.
I already had Badeucey.
You got an 8 Badeucey or something
10-10.
and made it? Fantastic. Good hand.
True story.
I'm happy to hear that.
You want to
happy
see
to
it?
hear you don't have 10.
You want to see
I
it?
believe you.
I'll show you anyway.
I just want to play the next hand.
I understand.
I just want to breathe right now.
Yeah.
Good hand, though. Good hand. I hope I didn't break the wrong way. I don't think I did.
Oh, with the suits?
Because I would have... Oh, no, then I would have gotten scooped. I would have made an ace Badeucey and gotten scooped.
Oh, then you would have had to call.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I hope I did break the wrong way. Rather be lucky than good. Wow.
One every time.
Can you tell how tilted I am right now? Or no? Can you tell? Or
But it's kind of really amazingly funny.
okay,
Like for me,
that's
it's
all right.
funny because I know you're doing fine. You're an okay.
No, I'm just working on my, I don't want, what am I going to do?
You're working on
Table
yourself?
over? I mean, well, I'm just curious if you could tell. Cause if
Oh,
you
no.
Can't,
Oh, I can.
if you can't, we've really,
I think we
we've
got
really
the vibe.
come along.
What do you think, Max?
It was
I think-
quite obvious.
I think he's there.
So you just got to draw the Badeuceys. That's it. I'm drawing 4. Just heavens to Betsy.
He's right. He is right, but I think he played both of these last
Yeah,
hands
great pick,
absolutely perfectly.
I wasn't aware of the chaos. That was
I mean, it's some fucking great TV, that's for sure.
Jesus.
The first Badeucey orbit in televised
history.
poker history is
I
a good
played
one.
every hand.
Even though fucking Daniel.
I played every hand and won every hand.
Okay.
Did I lose one?
Nice brag.
I think I won every pot.
He's a legend.
I mean, I really don't think I did.
It's amazing.
I mean, I think I played every Badeucey and won every pot.
amazing.
Didn't I? Is there one?
Do we have a lot of South American
You're a great player.
viewer, Daniel fans out there?
A couple of hands were really
Little
bad.
Nacho impression there along the way.
We're out here.
You're the one with the South American accent, it's not me.
I mean, I have never seen Negreanu run this hot, and I've covered him a lot. I've also seen him on the receiving end of some bad luck at final tables, but this is just absolutely unheard of.
Yeah, it's amazing. He knows that with his rush, he definitely could play this hand. This is not a hand you want to play
Fold?
in
Chad.
Badeucey, especially out of position.
He would never fold that hand.
I think Chad would fold that hand.
Chad would have put it in.
Okay, 550 total.
Chad would have busted you both.
All right, so Schulman all in here for his tournament life.
Schulman has a key card in his hand, being the 5 of hearts. Smith does need a heart, and he's going to draw 2 to the 3, 4, 6.
So Schulman already with the 9-7-6-5 Badeucey, tossing the jack to improve his low, and he's got quite a few options to do so, and now makes himself a 10. At what point do you comfortably stand pat?
I think
like
this
it.
is it
Well,
because you're
only
drawing to a straight.
black coffee
You don't
with
want to make an 8,
nitric
and you
over.
want to
It's just
catch
coffee
exactly a
and
4,
nitric,
3,
and that's
2.
it.
You
But
can
it's like
safely
just
deduce
plain
that
on
Dylan
nice
has those
space.
cards in his hand, and Negreanu probably has those cards in his hand.
No sweetener, no. Oh boy.
Perfect.
Oh, man.
Show?
Yeah.
All right, show your hands, boys.
All right,
I had-
Dylan Smith
Oh my God, I was in.
with a,
What does he have? A 10-9.
let's make sure those are the right cards.
That's
Wait.
at least half for Schulman. Scoop for Schulman.
All right, scoop for Schulman cards. Did not hit the
How you
reader,
feeling now,
but
Nick?
the players quickly
What's
determined
How you
this.
feeling now?
I'm feeling
Yeah, Dylan caught the
else
deuce of diamonds and the jack of
honest.
diamonds, which means he only has a 3 card for his Badeucey, and he has a
would've played
jack
slightly
low,
worse,
which
though.
loses to the
You know,
4
I
card
also, like,
9
when I
and the
picked
10
08
low of
before, I thought
Schulman.
when you love the game,
Can you
the
bring
game loves
Chad in
you.
here?
None of that today.
We need to know a question about whether he would have played that hand. I'll ask him.
I
You
hope
don't-
these
you don't
players
need it.
watch this,
Dude,
and then they
him in
come
here.
to
He
me
would've-
with some
he
Badeucey
would've-
questions
You know what the
in
hand
the
was?
future.
3-3-4, 6-7, double suited.
Even Chad might not have taken 3 to the face with that one.
No, you don't take 3, you would
But in
take
this spot,
2.
like I
Hit
can
3,
bust you
4,
both,
7.
you know.
You could also just bring us back from.
That's
you
true.
know,
That's hence the fold.
I think even Chad would have laid that down.
You would have? Okay. I don't know, but yeah, I did too.
double suited.
Double suited, you know.
I get
blocks.
it though. And it's a good thing for you. You just feel like good things are going to happen right now.
Right now. Yeah, like I'm opening with
Maybe
3 bet.
you should play the rush. You know
That's-
how the cards kind of just come off.
But you got to also
Trust
know
yourself.
ahead of time when the rush is over, or like when
Okay,
when
fair
to,
enough.
you can't
But,
push it too
you
much,
know,
and then
if
they
you
start to get
feel-
you're being greedy. You have to
feel
like
like it's just your time.
yeah.
Donnie stepped out for a few hands. Donnie, you literally missed
crazy.
the most absurd run of hands. Like the
Wait,
chip count.
like crazier than it was? I mean,
Look at the chip counts.
I mean, good lord.
He's
What did I miss?
He scooped
Everything.
Schulman in back-to-back
I mean, you
Badeucey
listen.
pots.
You got to blame Uncle Maury. He had an important call. You know, had to take 12 minutes out of here, but
Well, we got Smith all in here, though.
For the record, you would appreciate
Would be
this. I don't know if the
100
people at home would have.
More to you.
Negreanu would have made a 10-7 Badeucey on the first draw
Or
last
0
hand
more.
because he would have caught the 10 of hearts that
Oh.
Schulman caught. And it might have been all over for both of his opponents. Don't tell Daniel that, though. We're not in the game of playing hindsight, but my brain can't shut off in these fashions.
So this is Badeucey. I know that 99% of the people watching right now don't understand this game, myself included. The goal of the game is to make the best possible Badeucey and the best possible deuce to 7 triple draw hand. If that helps you at all gauging the hand values here.
Yes, normally in Badeucey, ace is the best card. In this game, ace is the worst card. It's the highest card.
For a while.
Sternheimer has a decision here. I don't think he should call. It's too much of your stack to call and draw 4 cards.
This guy.
Maybe if you had exactly the deuce of diamonds, you could call. But
Again,
this is
this was a
good
call at
fold.
Chad situation there.
Yeah, Chad would have drawn 5 there, but I don't know.
He would have drawn 5.
Probably.
Badeucey is when
Oh,
you
Adam,
have
did you
4
fold
cards
too?
of different
I did, yeah.
suits.
Mac?
Yeah.
Oh, he was 100 more.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, we're still playing Dealer's Choice. 19 games in rotation. Well, only 1 game in rotation on PlayPokerGo.com. A fun and free online poker game available on web, iOS, and Android. Go play right now while you watch these games that not a lot of people understand, and myself included. And you can play some no limit hold'em while you do so. You know, fun little bit of side action there. So check it out. Play PokerGO.com. Play for free. Play for fun. Play from anywhere.
I did have a 9 though. I had a pat 9, so I could snow. Actually, I had the perfect hand to snow because I had a 9-8-7 made and 4 clubs.
5 card. High.
This you, right, boss?
Wow,
Let's
Maxx Coleman, 5-card single draw high. The absolute
Okay. This is the big
most
ante, right?
bluff game that there is in
Doyle
poker.
Brunson. R.I.P.
Yep. I used to play this game as a teenager with these Italians. They were all cheating. Didn't mind.
Daniel still won.
Yeah, because they were cheating bad. Like, it was very obvious how they were cheating.
They were doing like the ear, like
A little bit of more like, you know, he bets, he calls, that guy has the nuts.
Not
Bet
like
raise.
not like aces up the sleeve. I
Not
once
quite.
played in a game in Germany. The guy had aces up his sleeves for like 6-7 years. No one noticed.
He would just slide himself an ace. You're saying? Or?
So they didn't have a card counter that would count cards twice a night, and he had like a contraption inside his sleeve where he had aces. And then one time during daylight savings time, God bless daylight savings time, they counted early, so he panicked, dropped the cards on the floor. Someone noticed something, but this was after 7 years.
Were you playing at Bellagio when that dealer was snatching flags out of the pot with like not a magnet, but like a suction?
Like the dealer here?
Well,
Just
in
saying
the
that?
cat, yeah, no, but he was like slick with it. I don't know how he did it, but yeah, he got caught.
All right, we've switched to the game everyone grew up playing on the kitchen table. However, that might have been the 3-draw limit variety. This is no limit 5-card draw.
Straight.
Slow.
I'm just saying I wasn't taking any cards.
Bluff?
Maybe. I wasn't.
Now, Kevin, I
The
will
best thing
admit,
about this game is when your first 2 cards are a pair, you got 3 sweats.
Yeah.
I have no clue how to play this game. What's a good
Just
hand?
one, and then blinds up.
2 pairs is normally a good starting hand.
I will do.
Any high pair,
Oh, really?
queens
The
are
next
better.
level
You
is the same
don't
blinds?
jacks or whatever, but you want to play queens, kings, and aces,
What's
or
75,
some sort of
125
2-pair
now,
hands.
so it just goes to 150.
Flush draws and straight draws
But the
look
ante
good,
is up, right, in the
but you're
next
going to
one? Oh,
miss
never
the
mind.
vast
No, it's
majority
all
of the
small,
time
just
when you
good
play hands like
Haven't
that.
It's the size of the small blanket.
This is such such a good
it should
game
be
for
the-
Negreanu to have at this point with his
Isn't it
chip
the big
stack.
one?
He
Oh, yeah.
can
Keep one
open
in- we're doing one and a
without
half, not
looking
big
at his
and small.
cards, and
Is
everyone
that
else
what you
has
want?
to play so
Whatever.
tight.
Maybe 150, I don't know.
Look at these stack sizes. It's absolutely crazy. 7 million for Negreanu and 1 million for the next stack being Schulman.
I mean, it's absolutely wild. Negreanu could bust 4 players in one hand.
Win the tournament in one hand.
Yeah, he could.
I expect Negreanu to open this one. I mean, draw 3 to the ace jack. It's really hard for anyone else to want to play. We saw Coleman fold 4, 5, 6, 7 being a straight draw. Yuri folded 4 to a flush. Sternheimer wishes we were playing deuce.
Such an impossible position for everyone to be in. Negreanu is applying the pressure. Schulman finds a pair, but he's just not going to do this because of how short everyone else is.
Perfect hand for Smith. He'll be all in here.
Aces for Smith.
And his equity is insane right now because Negreanu is going to draw 3 to the ace jack when Smith already has a pair of aces. There's only 1 ace left in the deck. Smith also discarding a jack.
Is there an argument to be made to keep the queen for Smith?
I don't think so.
Which
I think you want to. Oh, he is discarding the jack. He just wants to
This
draw
was
for
very
the
good, by
last
the way.
ace in
Yeah,
the
it's funny
deck
to
when
know
Smith
that.
already has
This
aces.
is like top notch. So.
I think I like it anyway.
Yeah, well, we'll see. See how much. Okay, go ahead. All you, buddy.
And Smith improves the aces with a
Let me see.
king.
If I pair this one, I'm not even going to look. Okay.
Negreanu, as we can see.
Normally, I don't root for the guy in this spot, but this would be just.
What's that? Hold on. Oh, that's the wrong suit.
You might be able to get a bluff through. Don't forget that.
I don't think so. Check.
Aces.
Aces. Oh, yeah, that beats ace. Take that one with you.
Speaking of.
What's the equity there? Aces versus the ace.
Oh, I think he's quite a favorite.
He's a favorite.
I do. I believe so. If I paired it, I was. Oh yeah, I still would have.
I mean, it has to be 95%.
I mean, but they say this level's totally safe. So let me just.
It's the. Am I drawing one? Nope.
Totally
Four.
Same thing. Same thing. But three out of the same thing.
And now the players have seen Negreanu kind of get out of line, just opening any 5 cards in this game. It still sucks for them that they're so handicapped. Smith's still short stacked. There's 3 shorter stacks than him. No one has any chips with Negreanu just having a massive chip lead.
I have one quick funny story about the first time I played draw poker. It was at the Mirage in the old poker room. We got a game going that started out as a mixed game and then ultimately became a low stakes to 7 triple draw
I think you
game.
would have called if I didn't.
We were gambling. It was late at night.
Good read.
I
I
was
know what I'm
straddling, and it got back
Say that
around to me. And without looking, I called the capped bet. I looked at my cards, and I had Broadway straight. So I face up muck my Broadway straight, and I get dealt number 1, the 7-5-4-3
You had
deuce.
the baby
I got a
gut shot,
check
or
raise in
not
on
even a
every
gut
single
shot,
draw,
right?
I had
and I
3
won
diamonds.
3
the
diamonds,
biggest pot
interesting
probably in
spot.
history of how small
the
those
ace
stakes
is much
were.
better.
I know, but when you're at the video poker, you know, it's sometimes
Yeah,
you
well,
wanna make
yeah,
a flush.
yeah,
You
for
just-
sure. But in
That'll
this case,
never happen
it looks like he
again.
has queens, kings. I mean, ace just.
Oh, Negreanu with a real hand
The
here.
ace, yeah, fair enough. 4 pulls at the ace. Tough when they have aces.
Yeah.
How do you feel if you're Schulman in this spot? Like you just can't do anything.
Yeah, you
There's
just
so many other short stacks. It's like, what am I supposed to do?
you just let Negreanu do his thing, and it sucks. We have seen Schulman get involved in those back-to-back Badeucey hands with the best of it against Negreanu, but just the cards were not in his favor.
I came with the goods this time. You know. Queens, ace, stuff.
If you're
So,
just tuning in or just joining
75
us on
and then
YouTube,
125.
please don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have basically daily live streams. We have daily highlights. We have shorts. We have all the good stuff that you as a poker fan are looking for. And please note that tomorrow we have the final table of the 25K 10 game. So we'll just remove 9 games from this rotation. They'll play a 10-game mix. All of these players will probably enter that event when this one concludes. So there is a chance for another Negreanu final table. He'll definitely be in the mix. And then right after that on Thursday, day 1 of the 100K Super High Roller Bowl Mixed, which will also feature Negreanu, Schulman. I believe Sternheimer will be in the mix.
And with Yuri's stack here, I think he has to just put it in. He has to be all in this hand. He is drawing to a pair of aces or a pair of jacks. With his flush draw, he probably is going to just draw 1. Sternheimer with quite a decision here. Blocking kings, blocking queens, just 2 jacks, decides to give it up. Understands how tight Yuri has to be. So I was kind of wondering in my mind and going through different iterations of why Coleman would call this game in particular, being one of the shorter stacks, when Negreanu can just put everyone else to the test. And the one thing that I came up with was Coleman counted where the button would end, and he would avoid paying the big blind twice and make all of the other short stacks at the table pay the big blind more than once, which would cut into their stack quite significantly.
Funny spot. I'm probably supposed to fold jacks there.
Yeah, because he's going to be all in next time. Yeah.
Because who? Me, I'm saying.
He's going to be all in next time.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Negreanu could go out to lunch and come back for heads up.
Yeah.
He has 71% of the chips in play.
Seven-handed.
And another thing is he's the type of player, when he's not the chip leader, he's like, who the heck with ICM, I'm playing to win. So I can only imagine now with this size of a chip lead, he's just going to be pedal to the floor, let's go.
And this hand is brutal for Sternheimer. Yeah, he just has to give it up. There's no real reason to draw to any of those pairs, no reason to draw to the straights.
Coleman very short on 350. Him and Sternheimer, the 2 shortest stacks.
Note his hand does not contain a pair, but he does have an ace, a king, and a queen. He's in position, and there's only 2 players left behind with a lot of money out there to steal.
Fold.
Ah, it's a tough spot.
And aces for Negreanu. It's going to look pretty aggressive here, but Yuri doesn't even find a hand.
Not even close.
What was that, Daniel?
Aces.
That's it?
That's it.
Now, if you're Max and you're shoving there, is it better to draw 4 to an ace or 2 to an ace king queen?
I guess it would depend on how many your opponents draw. If you think that any of those pairs are good, you could get away with drawing 2. If you think you need to make exactly aces,
I don't
you
know.
could draw 4. You
So
could draw
short, he
3
has
to the
go
ace
with
king.
So much
I'm
shit.
kidding.
I don't know. Maybe you're right.
I don't think so. Maybe though.
I don't think I have a limp range in that spot.
Probably want a better hand actually too.
Check out our
Yeah.
shop
The
at
limp?
shop.pokergo.com.
aces, yeah.
Official PokerGo merch. High stakes poker, no gamble, no future. By the way, new episodes out on PokerGo.com. If you love high stakes poker, if you still remember it from back in the day, check out the new season, which has been truly spectacular. Unless you've been living under a rock, the Alan Keating hand has gone viral across all platforms from last week, and I think it was last night. I won't spoil this. Last night when something hilarious happened also.
Oh, yeah.
Especially,
I watched it last night.
it was pretty
It
hilarious.
was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Please check out the new season of High Stakes Poker. We got tons of tremendous episodes.
Tonight, new No Gamble No Future as well.
Am I
I saw the clip and they were talking about playing strip poker. So I don't know what the heck is happening on that show. Jeff and Brent need to keep things controlled a little bit, but I mean these guys are talking about taking their shirts off, their pants off. I have no idea what's going on.
Was I on this episode?
You weren't in the clip,
Okay.
but you tell me.
Yeah,
Are people getting naked?
Oh, that might have to be added to the Wheel of Pain. We'll talk about it. Coleman here raising with jacks. Sternheimer with a pair of 6s in the big blind with almost nothing left behind. My brain is going a million miles a minute trying to figure this game out. I have never really played this before. Do you just, go for broke, draw 3 to a 6?
So Sternheimer has already put in 200K of his 325K to start and is drawing 3 to try and hit it exactly a 6 against Coleman here. Sometimes there's just nothing you can do. You know that you're behind and you need to improve to make 2 pair or 3 of a kind. And
So we got jacks all in versus 6s. Sternheimer with 3 chances.
Yeah. You mind going first?
Yeah, if Coleman catches a jack, it's pretty much over. It does not improve.
All right, so Sternheimer left with a pair of 6s.
Okay, if I go for it.
Coleman with a pair of jacks will send Sternheimer to the rail. And Philip Sternheimer will be our 6th place finisher as he still sweats the cards.
Yep, he just said he's sweating a 3 across, which is a 6, 7, or 8, and it's a diamond, so he knows that he's live, but he's a 2-to-1 underdog to make the 6.
Opens to Badeucey.
He's going real deep, sweating both sides, switch to the top.
Nope.
He's looking for the pip in the middle.
Good game, Phil.
All right, Sternheimer collecting $53,625 for finishing in 6th place. We are now down to the final 5, and despite knocking the player out, Coleman's still only on 725,000 chips because Negreanu is the king of the castle here at the final table of this event.
So when Sternheimer was sweating, there's a reason that he turned the card over to look from the other side. The way that he was looking at it is, when you sweat an 8, there's 2 pips in the middle of the card. And when you want a 6, there's 0 pips in the middle of the card. So he sweat the first one, saw there was 0 pips, which means it's either the 6 or the 7. So he went from 33% to 50%, turned it around, and then saw the bad news with the pip in the middle of the card.
I mean, at this point, we should really just add Baccarat as the 20th game.
Right, exactly.
When I was out there just now on that little break that I had to take, Scott Siever was talking about some sort of ultimate sweat where, like, somehow the 6s and the deuces and another card, like the curl, is the same. And if you place your thumb in the exact precise spot, you can see the curl. Like, but it looks like all. I was like, what in the heck is he even talking about? What level are we on?
I see what he's talking about. He's talking about the number in the corner of the card.
Yeah,
that's
okay,
awesome.
That's the level that we're at. Like,
that's so cool.
I think there's support groups for these kinds of people.
I might need it.
Yeah, it's in the studio.
It's in the studio.
That's the support group right there.
I need to talk to Siever about that. That's fun. I love sweating cards.
Dzivielevski with the pair of 9s is going to shove here for 250. And Schulman is going to give him action.
Schulman drawing 1 here. It's heavily weighted towards having 2 pair. Yuri with only a pair of 9s. Oh, he does have a flush draw.
And now
flush draw for Schulman.
He's getting the right price, and he has 2 overs to the 9s.
with that one. Yeah, with the new.
Oh. This is, of course, a game that we don't see
right over Yuri,
all that often here.
Nick is already breathless, and it's just tilting him more from making him do all this extra work.
Dzivielevski hitting 2-pair queens and nines, and he's going to double up. And
are we looking for a new game?
Oh, let's see.
Blood.
What big bet game were we playing?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it said limit Omaha high.
Yeah, I think so. And Daniel's talked about this before during the various dealer's choice. Like, this is going to benefit him
so much,
and really put a lot of pressure on these shorter stacks.
All right, so for good measure, limit Omaha high, called by Daniel Negreanu. This is a bit of a new thing we have for you. Vegas Madness, in partnership with No Gamble No Future and Splash Sports, are offering a wonderful 50K prize pool if you want to play the contest. It is capped at 223 entries, and all you have to do is make your March Madness picks. Go to splashsports.com/NGNF. Like I said, 223 entries max.
Think about.
You can win a $5,000 package to come play on No Gamble No Future.
Very important ICM.
Yeah, Survivor-style contest.
So you want to be conscious of that.
You could win a $50,000 prize and then play on No Gamble No Future as well. 5K package. You'll get your buy-in. You get 2 nights at Aria. That sounds freaking awesome if you're a poker fan, if you ask me.
Race?
All right, so click or type in the link, splashsports.com/NGNF. Only 223 entries possible.
You just have aces.
Well, get in the mix right now.
Okay. God doesn't make mistakes. This is our path today.
This is our path today. You're so funny. It's great. Everything's funnier to me today. I wonder why.
Maybe it's because you have an enormous.
I understand. But hey, at the moment, I'm going to enjoy the sun run. You know?
I can't argue with that.
This is definitely the best game for Negreanu to pick. He knows that everyone else is so handcuffed that even though you're getting so much equity in this hand with 4 cards to continue pre-flop, you're just so incentivized to fold.
Like a kid, like a child. True.
The graphic does say pot limit Omaha, but that's because we don't have a different Omaha graphic.
Just raising from the
It's
bank.
limit Omaha, high only.
Wow, Schulman as the second shortest stack picks up a monster in limit Omaha high. Does not care about ICM. ICM is for poor people.
Good luck, Nicholas.
Let's go.
All right, Negreanu makes the call. Schulman with only
probability unfolding.
a small bet left.
150.
See, the equities are just so close in this game. Both players flopping a king.
King 4 deuce.
You got it? What is it?
King 4, yeah.
Okay.
I got it for now. You're not
sure it's
dead.
not like top
He says, I got it. He's like, you just got it? You got it.
Negreanu out in front with kings and 4s. Schulman needs oxygen and some cards because he's about to be out of this thing unless he hits one of those outs at the top of your screen. 10 on the turn.
So it's funny, I made kings and 10s, but it's good for him.
Yeah.
9
Schulman
plus, you need 9, jack, queen.
picks up a much bigger draw.
No good? Or deuce?
No,
Deuce no good. You have kings and 10s. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Schulman looking for
Monkey.
one of those cards on the river.
There you go, buddy.
And it's an ace on the river. Schulman hits Broadway, survives, and can come up for some air. Negreanu on 6.7 million still.
9, really.
What's that?
Way out in front.
It wasn't that bad of a turn card because I only added the 9.
Yeah, I'm saying, but it was good for him, a little bit. But I guess on overall, it's probably not.
That really
like all
helped
the cards it
Schulman,
could be.
you know, just
Probably,
really separate himself from the pack there.
Pretty.
Little
Like,
breathing
almost
room.
like a neutral.
Yeah, and he's not playing to ladder up. He needs the win. He needs the PGT points. He knows what's at stake here.
In case you're just tuning in, it is complete madness today at the PGT Mixed Game Series. Dealer's choice, 19 games, every orbit. The next player picks a new game out of those 19. And so far, it's been the Daniel Negreanu show. He's been absolutely destroying everyone. If you're enjoying this coverage, please smash that like button. Let's get us up to over 1,000 likes. It's been quite a ride. And also, by the way, if you're just tuning in, it's worth going back in time to watch because it's been just spectacular what Negreanu has been doing. And with that, I mean hitting every card he needs. He's been...
Yeah, that might have been the first hand he's lost.
Yeah, you're right.
In the last 2 hours.
Negreanu on cruise control with the limits this big. Everyone else handcuffed. Smith, Coleman, and Dzivielevski duking it out for who will be on all-in next.
And there's a big pay jump between 5th and 2nd place, so we'll see who wants to gamble with Negreanu next.
Ace King 10-9 double suited for Coleman. That is what the doctor ordered.
Monstrous hand in Limit Omaha. Basically, it's the same thing as in Limit Hold'em, where your like suited rundown, suited connector type of thing, value goes way down, and your high card, especially high cards that contain a flush draw, value goes way up because most of the time you get to realize your equity, whereas in PLO, on the turn, most of the time if you get potted, you're not getting the right price to continue with, say, a flush draw or a straight draw, whereas in this, you're getting like 7-1 instead of 2-1. To make a call, so you're incentivized to continue with everything that you have, so your high flush draws go up in value.
We are playing Limit Omaha. I know that's confusing with the graphic on screen. We're working on fixing that. Smith looking for that one hand to take all the way, and it's going to be this one.
Yeah, he's so short. There's nothing really else to do. You have an ace and a queen. The deuce and the 3 are not good, but the equities run so close in this that it's worth just getting in.
Negreanu out of the way, and action now over on Schulman, who knows that it's pretty cheap here, but he only has King Jack 5 deuce.
He can afford to gamble here. The equities run so close in this game. It's anywhere between 60% and 40%, so you're definitely getting the right price to call. I really like the stop and go tactic. If Schulman flops anything, he's just going to bet and put Smith to the test.
Look on Schulman's face, telling on how he's not a fan, but he is in there. And Smith here flops pretty good.
Yeah, this seems like enough to put in 100K. I mean, you have a gut shot, you have some backdoor 2-pair draws.
Backdoor 2-pair draw might be the weakest kind of draw you can hope for.
Shout out Joe Ingram, you know, backdoor quads. Not with this hand, but
Schulman staring at a wheel draw. Backdoor Broadway.
And he obviously knows it's on him because he used a time bank chip.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
You're good. No worries.
Was he waiting for... No, he can't. He can't be waiting for the level to end.
Schulman just in a bit of pain here.
Yeah.
Having to call 100K only.
Right.
10 seconds.
Happens to Betsy. My word.
Betsy's really getting it.
What a riveting scenario this is. I mean, it's just...
I feel like with a gut shot, you just have to pay. I mean, you have to call 100K to win 775. Most of the time, you would think that your 4 outs are good. We can see that one of the 3s is in Smith's hand.
Schulman looked like he was going to snap fold, then apologized, pull his cards back, talked to Betsy for a bit there, and now maybe still considering tossing in that 1 yellow chip to run the turn and river here.
And Smith just wants a fold. He knows that he doesn't have 100% equity. He only has 1 pair with a straight draw. He just wants a fold to take it down right here. A huge increase to his stack.
All right, so Schulman does make the call, and we can see on the screen only the 3 of clubs available to him.
I guess the king can just be good.
I mean, what if he has queens?
One outer here
What if he just
for
has,
Schulman
like,
to
queens?
send
And
Smith to the
But
rail.
I've played some
Does
Omaha
have
in
some
my
back
day, and
doors.
this hand's really bad.
Yeah,
So I wanted to like
I
do the
wouldn't.
math,
I wouldn't call it good.
Then I should have bet. I checked to fold and then realized I don't think
He only
I
had
can
100
fold.
left.
I don't know though. I mean, maybe I can. Look at my hand.
All right, Schulman
I'm
looking
playing
Well,
for
there you
a
go.
3.
You're right.
Jack
You're
of
right.
clubs on the
You're right.
turn.
Make
Sorry,
it easy
Dylan.
pair
Gives
now.
him
This is
additional outs.
One of the most brutal bust outs of all time that we're about to witness.
Schulman announcing the most brutal bust out of all time. Is it going to be there,
King
or is Dylan Smith going to double up?
No, deuce is no good.
3,
Oh,
king
three.
jack.
King Jack 3-5.
5 is no good.
Let's see the river card.
5 makes him the straight.
Nice hand.
It's the 4 of
Kind of happy I
clubs.
didn't win after like the forward. Sort. It's like a kind of a muck though. Like I don't know. You know.
I mean, you get rid of your cards, it's fine.
Never been in that spot. I owe one more.
Smith doubling through Schulman, and the battle of the short stacks continues here.
It's a lot easier being in the booth and seeing the cards, obviously, but Schulman went through the same thought process that I went through after he made the call pre of, do I just bet here, or if I check, am I checking to fold? And eventually he came with check and fold, but then just
At least
talked
if you
himself
bet,
into
you,
the
you
call.
get it in against queen high. Sometime you get it in good at some point. Check to 4-time bank check.
What if you maybe
Time bank
maybe
call.
there was a world where you could check to the river and then bluff it.
Maybe perhaps.
Maybe a word like if it comes like 5-6, there's like 4-liner and he just has king high. King queen jack 10.
Lots more shenanigans on tap here at this final table, I'm sure. Thanks for joining us here. Hit that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're catching us there. And please let us know in the chat. Can anyone overcome Negreanu? I'd like to hear some opinions here.
Yeah, Negreanu out of this hand giving someone else a chance to win.
Just have 4 total
Schulman
here.
did have a hand reasonable of 3-bet and going with it with the ace-king. Decides to let it go. Smith, 30% equity here with his pair of 3s against a pair of 9s.
Queen, 10, deuce. 2 diamonds here. A quick bet and a call, and Dzivielevski's tournament life will be at stake. He's got 12 outs, minus the ones grayed out there on the top of your screen. Smith in a great situation here to win back-to-back hands and reduce this field to its final 4. Dzivielevski, though, not drawing dead, but equity's a little worse than he was hoping for, perhaps. At least he doesn't know which cards have been folded. 7 of hearts on the turn. Dzivielevski now picks up a flush draw as well. Smith does hold 2 hearts, so that in turn again reduces his outs slightly, but he still has 17 outs going to the river here. The Brazilian pro, can he find a way to survive? It's the king of clubs on the river, and Dzivielevski does survive. Hits a king on the river, and he now up to 875. Smith back down, being the shortest stack. We could play this game for a while, Donnie, with the shortest stacks doubling through each other.
I mean, yeah, we could. You know, especially in these banana games. All the different cards that these guys catch. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, as long as Negreanu just holds on to this chip lead, even if some people exchange some double ups here and there, it still seems like it's going to be next to impossible to overtake him.
Still on limited Omaha. Graphic now correct on your screen. Negreanu, ace-king, 8-6. Double suited.
Just keeps getting these premium hands. He wants to make it look like he's just trying to bully people, but he just has it. He just has the goods. Coleman getting the right equity, but do you want to put in enough chips to realize the equity? It's not worth it. Yuri.
Oh, let's go. He's at a tank.
This is rough. I mean, you're third shortest. You only have 3 big bets. What do you think your best chance is here? Do you want to play a split pot game and let everyone all the short stacks kind of realize their equity. Do you want to play a big bet game?
Omaha 8 or better. Okay.
Okay, he does go with a split pot game and let all the short stacks realize their own equity. I don't hate it.
All right, so we're back on Omaha 8 or better for 7 hands.
Oh, that's me.
And of note, he will have to pay the big blind twice during this game, so another good reason to pick Omaha 8. He also could have picked stud 8 or better and avoided playing the big blind twice. I want Schulman to just pick a pure gambling game. I want him to pick Big O. It's not a good choice, but it would be a fun choice.
So Dzivielevski, the one call on the game, limit Omaha 8 or better. Going to play 7 hands of this game before it's Schulman's turn to pick.
Excuse me. I have the hot water a little bit and a pen.
Really good hand for Coleman.
Yeah, ace-jack 10 deuce. Coleman in the small blind. Very happy to raise this one. Ace-king with 6s for Negreanu. King 9-5. Now Coleman a little less happy, looking for backdoors on both sides.
Yeah, Negreanu should just raise to get it in here, and you saw it on Coleman's face. He's not happy about this situation. Has to catch a queen for the high side, running 2-pair or running low cards to get half this pot.
Max Coleman in a world of trouble. He won the event yesterday, Maury's Mix. Right now on the brink of elimination, looking for runner ways to escape here as Daniel Negreanu with ace-king has him in a tough spot. Turn card, queen of clubs. That is exactly what Coleman was looking for.
Yeah.
Hitting a straight on the turn. Didn't even need runner. He had some clean outs there right away.
Yeah, just the gut shot, like I mentioned, with the queen. And that locked up the entire pot for him.
John G says, I didn't even know Limit Omaha existed. I'm not sure that it should exist, but it is here and it's part of the mix. It is definitely a strange game. It is a very strange game. As Kevin mentioned on a previous stream, there are some obscure Limit 08 games in Las Vegas which basically go 10-handed to the river every time, and then everybody turns the cards over hoping to win the pot.
Yep. If you're a fan of playing poker like that and getting some free drinks and some decent breakfast food, that was that's what I did for fun way back in the day.
Payouts available in the description of this video. Just to let you know, just shy of 300,000 up top for the winner. And Negreanu here just getting aggressive. Jack 8-6-3, very speculative, of course. Dzivielevski finding double-suited aces. No low opportunities here for the Brazilian.
Yeah, he's debating the merits of call versus raise. Smith is so short. He's trying to think if there are boards where we can find a fold.
At all. You don't. He doesn't have ace deuce or anything good. It's just garbage. Bet.
3-5-7. Negreanu locks up the low, which Dzivielevski can't make.
After all that taking.
Also has an open and a straight draw. Dzivielevski knows that the low being out there might make it so that he's already only trying to win the high, and even that is going to be tough.
Yeah, this is exactly what was going through his mind pre-flop. A lot of the time you look down at aces, especially double suited, and you're like, all right, let's shovel all the money in there. But he came with the right play of just call and then folded the flop.
He could have had ace deuce too.
With the time bank though?
Maybe he was thinking of raising.
My read was no.
Johnny Ligner.
Johnny Ligner.
What's that from?
That's what Richard Sklar says sometimes.
Johnny
Ligner.
That was actually a brilliantly played hand from Yuri.
Ligner.
Ask Richie. I don't really know. You got to ask Richie about that one. Whew.
Coleman smiling comfortably right now. Coleman is basically a huge stack right now, just by virtue of the other short stacks around him. And now Smith is going to try again. Ace Queen, 9-8.
Yeah, he's definitely got the hand to do it.
Is it all in?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. All in quickly here. Ace Queen 7 deuce. Schulman with the ace deuce, of course. The favorite type holding to start a 08 hand. Smith does have ace 8 for the emergency low escape route, but that will not likely to be in play. Smith here looking for a way to stay alive. Both players with ace queen. A lot of coverage back and forth. All right, let's see the flop here. 9-8-5. Schulman pairing 9s and 8s. Very difficult now for Smith to escape. Excuse me, Smith making 2 pair. Look at me misreading the cards. I knew someone made 2 pair. 10 of diamonds on the turn. Smith now locking up the high. Schulman 50-50 to make a low. River card
so
4.
Not gonna lie.
They will
Feels
chop it up.
amazing. I think it's. Is it position always or it's?
No,
Oh, no,
hand.
sorry. I missed.
Yep.
Never mind. I thought they were saying something about position in tournaments, but that's for.
That's if you're chopping
quarters.
quartered.
Yes.
If you're chopping
correct.
the low or the high.
Correct.
Lots of new people tuning in. Please know that it'd be really sick if you became a subscriber to our PokerGO YouTube channel. If you're tuning in on YouTube, we're trying to just get as many people in the door as possible. We have daily live streams basically happening the last few weeks and the upcoming weeks as well. We have tons of clips, highlights, shorts, and all that good stuff being released. You will not be disappointed if you are a poker fan. Please subscribe to the PokerGO YouTube channel and turn on the notifications, if you will.
Once again, Negreanu using his chip stack to his advantage. 9-6-4-3, not a great Omaha 8-hand. Schulman out of the small blind, just insta-folded. Ace-Jack, 10-8, very playable hand. Doesn't want to get involved. Smith's still very short. 1 bet.
You're breaking 8 minutes.
No break on this stream. We'll push right through that. We are showing the full final table everywhere. So if you're hearing my voice right now, you know that you can stick around to watch this thing to its completion.
Yuri has a tough decision here. He knows exactly what he needs to do. And I don't know if I would have made that fold in his spot. He's trying to outlast Smith, knowing that Negreanu is opening very, very wide. You have the ace-6-4-3.
Double
Maybe
suited.
it's worth it to go with it.
6.
Okay.
I was,
All right.
you know, good hand.
You're downgrading, but.
I mean, yeah. It qualified.
Sure.
I think if Yuri was the shortest stack, he would have gone with that hand. And Negreanu's just getting away with murder at this point, opening every hand that seems even remotely close. Somewhat playable hand from Schulman there. Doesn't want to tango with Negreanu in the big blind. Negreanu's just going to get a walk. Oh,
So much respect for the chip leader.
yeah, this is rough for everyone at the table except for Negreanu. He's just stockpiling chips. 7.2 million.
Donnie Peters with a little splash in the chat, adding 20 YouTube members to our community.
I'm just having fun with the chat.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. This is the time and day to have a bit of fun. Dealer's choice. What a mess. Negreanu on top, Schulman on tilt, everyone else on tilt. Who's going to bust? It's not going to be Negreanu, I think.
Man, this is a hand that Schulman knows that he should play under normal circumstances. Is he going to try to take this hand to showdown with only 3 big bets? Yuri short, Smith short, Coleman about the same stack size. Wow, he has to give it up. Smith with a monstrous hand, definitely going with it. Ace, king, 6 deuce. See if Negreanu or anyone else behind him wants to give him some action. Interesting, just call. Wonder what the merits of that are. I think you want to try to deny as much equity to the players behind you as possible.
10 seconds.
Raise.
Is there a chance that maybe he thinks his hand is so good that he doesn't mind Negreanu and Yuri both like coming in? Like if Negreanu were to just call versus if he raises, maybe Negreanu folds from the small blind?
If
Like,
you had more chips, I would say yes, but you only have 75,000 chips behind.
In the quarter.
I mean, I'm with you. I'm just
Give me
trying to
protection.
maybe piece
Yeah,
something together in my
there's
mind.
Some
My
sort of
hand's
world.
a little worse than yours.
Because
It's close.
only Negreanu is putting in
50-45.
more chips. Yuri just gets to see it for free if he checks without having to put in the extra 75K.
All right, Smith all in here. Ace, king, 6 deuce. As you can see, even though Negreanu's hand doesn't look all that great, still has 50% chance to win
I really
the
don't care
high,
if I win this one, but
and of course reduced
Very good
chances
game.
to make a
Thanks,
low. But the flop will dictate how that's going to play. All right, here's the first 3. King, queen, 7, 2
Will something
diamonds.
for both? Oh, you have diamonds. Yeah,
Smith
that's
has
good.
diamonds. Smith has ace, king. Things are looking pretty slim here for Negreanu. Well, let's not have any sympathy for him given his stack size. Smith needs this one to survive. 600K in the middle. Turn card, 7
That's
of
a
clubs.
very good card for you.
Neither player with a 7.
And Negreanu has exactly a
outs.
queen to win this pot. 2 outs.
It's not there. Smith doubles up. I think we've seen about 7 double ups now without a bust out.
He almost tripled up with the 150 from the big blind. He only started with 225. And now Yuri definitely in the danger zone with 1 big bet.
Oh, and Schulman's turn to pick a game.
Yeah, this is
let's see.
incredibly important.
I wonder if he's going to say something about his choice here.
What if you tank on picking the game? Do they take time banks from you?
They should. Oh, here it is.
Unlimited, Texas.
Must have lost
Hold'em.
my mind.
Wow, the Cadillac.
Big blind.
Okay.
All right, everyone in the chat.
I must have
Finally, a
just
game
lost
we
it.
all know.
He's like, oh, what
7
can I do?
hands.
Yeah, well, hey.
It's 7 hands for the chat pros to let us know how these guys are playing. No limit
Another
hold.
element, I would like some sort of confessional aspect where the player picking the game goes off to the side
Yeah.
and tells us why.
Oh, yeah.
I want to know why. But not at the table because obviously you don't want to reveal your strategy. But like the confessional aspect that you sometimes
got
see in
7 in
reality
your hand,
television.
shuffle?
I want to know why
I
he's
have
picking no limit hold'em.
7, 25,
I agree.
825
And
total.
Schulman even said that he doesn't mind taking the big blind twice. I wonder why that comes into the decision making.
Well, I think Schulman is just so well studied in hold'em. It's been a vocal point of his, I believe. He's played a lot of course, high stakes hold'em versus perhaps guys like Smith, Coleman, Dzivielevski, focusing a bit more on.
I feel like Negreanu should just be all in blind for most of these hands. No one can hurt him that badly. I mean, not even at all. And he can just put so much pressure on everybody.
All right. The Cadillac, Negreanu comes out with the shove. How many shoves will we see in 7 hands, Donnie?
4 minimum. I'm setting the line at 4. 4. Well,
I'll take the over.
I was going to say 4.5. I was debating between 4.5 and 3.5. I'll say 4.5 is the line.
All right, I'll take over.
Well, if you want to win your way into the $1 million free roll PGT Championship, you can try and win a seat yourself watching at home. PGT.com/Gleam for more information, or scan the QR code on your screen right now. We're giving away a seat into a $1 million free roll. How can you not at least take a chance? All right, get in the mix. Come join us. No limit hold'em, or as it's also called, normal poker.
Man, this is a spot. I think he's going to lean on fold, but man, it's so juicy to just jam this hand. Negreanu's all in again.
And look at Coleman, just completely dejected by the circumstances.
This is so brutal. Wow.
All right, that's 2 for 2.
Yeah, I'm
like
gonna
you would
take
guess
over.
that this is what was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Which then leads me to think, like, why would Nick pick the game?
Right.
You know,
Because
because
he
I mean,
thinks
unless
there's-
maybe he thinks that, like, yes, Daniel will do this, but I'm kind of comfortable in chips, so maybe the other players will make a mistake. But I mean, listen, Dylan Smith, Maxx Coleman, Yuri Dzivielevski, I think they're pretty well versed in no limit hold'em.
Yeah.
Like, if you were to take a group of 5 players from this field at the start and say who are the best no limit hold'em 5, it
Right.
might be this 5.
Right.
Definitely could be.
Oh, we might have found a fold here.
Matthew, fold.
I don't know, man. It still might be a jam. It still might be like every hand without looking at your cards all in.
This is what Schulman probably was hoping for. A chance to shove. King deuce of hearts, Donnie. That has to be a shove, right?
We have one more hand after this.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
9 big blinds.
I mean, maybe it's just one of those tight folds because you make more money from folding than you do from playing the hand. But I think it's just going to be so hard for Smith and Coleman to call. Smith does take advantage here.
Oh, wow.
It's probably good enough. Call.
Coleman wanting to call, looking at just one card. Just make sure that the other one isn't a deuce, I guess. But Coleman does make the call. Smith all in and at risk. Jack 8 versus Ace King. 975 in the middle. All right, here comes the flop. Can Smith survive again? Well, it looks unlikely. Coleman pairs his ace. There are some backdoor options, but not a whole lot here for Smith. Turn card. 6 of spades, and that'll do it. Dylan Smith eliminated in 5th place. What a roller coaster. I believe he doubled up about 4 or 5 times, but still got short time and time again. He will collect $73,125 for his efforts. And look at Dzivielevski. What a way to ladder now into the final 4 with just 300,000 chips.
Some action was going to happen there.
Daniel Negreanu still with an insane chip lead here.
Thank you.
Negreanu 76% of all the chips in play. This is still one of the most absurd final tables I've ever had a chance to cover.
It's so great.
In mixed games, too.
I mean, not only is it mixed, it's dealer's choice.
Yeah.
20 games, like the person picks, like the whole thing is just great.
Schulman finds queens, moves all in. Let's see if Negreanu finds anything.
7.
I mean, he has an ace. How are we going to fold this one?
I think you also have to know Nick has to be pretty high up in his range here, given where Yuri is. Yuri's going to be in the big blind the next hand.
Look at Daniel. Look at Daniel glancing over at Yuri's chips. That was very important. Daniel probably at that very moment, as he glances over, completely eliminating most of Schulman's range here.
I mean, I think it comes down to, like, what does Schulman do with king queen, king jack, like those
KJ
hands.
over there.
I can beat that.
Wow.
It's Badeucey.
Oh boy.
I mean, Schulman's range might honestly be like jacks plus ace queen plus.
Can you really fold 9s here?
Fold.
Good fold.
You
No,
could.
ace.
Good fold.
How is it a good fold? Good fold for you, maybe.
It was a good fold.
Yeah?
I wouldn't just look you in the eyes. And
Yeah,
say,
yeah. Like that, I'm going to see it later. Is that,
I think Schulman might
this
go
his
with
too?
9s, him specifically,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
But
I'm saying,
I mean,
did you
okay,
not
that's
take
me.
the-
it's just that's
Yeah,
just
you
such a
should've-
tricky spot.
All right,
Thank
we
you,
are
Daniel.
not
Wow.
going on break,
Yeah.
but we are doing a
And
quick
It was a
commercial.
weird one. I'm like,
Quick commercial. Top your
be
drinks up. We'll be
empty.
right back
No.
in about 30
you?
seconds
I had ace
for
6.
continued coverage. So only
Lady
30-second
Gaga.
break here.
Lady
If you blink too
Gaga
fast, this
coming.
thing might be
Lady
over.
Gaga
So
coming.
we'll see you on the other side.
Want to play online poker for free? With Play Poker Go, you get the thrill of authentic poker anytime, anywhere. From quick casual games to action-packed tournaments, Play Poker Go lets you compete against real players around the globe, all for free. No bots, no gimmicks, just pure poker fun. Hone your skills and enjoy the poker experience you love. Explore Play Poker Go on web, iOS, and Android. Deal yourself in now.
Yeah.
As promised.
We were thinking, you know, at 4 players, especially with a game like this, where you have like, why not just play 4 hands? We're you know.
You guys unanimously agree to it, then you guys can change parameters of the tournament.
Yeah. The reason is because you have these awkward spots where people pay big, and then they have to pick different games. And
I get it.
yeah. Honestly, I think at final it should just be however number of players, 7, 6, 5, 4, and then heads up.
Not trying to make any in-game changes, but
Yeah.
You
What do you
know,
want to do? You
food
want to do
for
4 or
thought.
6?
Huh?
4 or 6?
I just want to do whatever the tournament is like.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
so it's 6 then.
All right.
All right, no changes to the structure.
Yep.
Nick signed up for a tournament.
Right,
he
but it's
wants
4
to play
handed,
that
right?
tournament.
We're just doing the 7.
7.
You know what I mean?
we're
Bad
playing
news
7
for
hands?
Yuri.
Yeah, that's.
Oh.
I mean, we played
He's in
these
the big
4
blind
like.
now.
I
when
was
you get
just
down to
like,
3, you go to
like,
4.
Yeah.
Oh.
Down to 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 and 6 makes sense.
Yeah,
It's 2
just
rounds.
whatever it is. I was
it's fine.
merely just
Yeah.
kind of asking. We
Got
can
it.
play.
Let's play.
I'm not like objecting to anything obvious.
Okay.
All right, Yuri
Here we
Dzivielevski
go.
probably objecting to the blinds going up.
You had 1.2 or something?
It was
1.3,
1, yeah.
2.5.
The Brazilian now in the big blind here.
Just read it.
Just tuning in. Come join us on playpokergo.com. You just saw it. Play free, play from anywhere. Great way to get your foot in the door.
So the
Play for
blinds are
fun.
51.
Yes.
Fast game on there.
Yeah, we play straight no limit hold'em, the Cadillac
Yes.
on playpokergo.com, so you don't got to worry about the nonsense that you might be seeing on your screen, but excitement is still there, of course.
What do you mean you're playing no limit hold'em?
No, that is true. That is true. That is true.
Schulman with pocket 5s with the real decision here.
Time extension.
And look at this. He's just going to min raise, or mini raise, as some might say. 50K, 100K are the blinds.
Right?
I started with 9.
Look at this spot for
Four-way
Coleman.
all in. Let's go. 4-way all in. Come on. I know that's impossible with these hands, but
Where's
still.
where's Pads when you need him?
Yeah.
Someone run these ICM spots.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just have to fold there. I also wouldn't have hated a fold out of Schulman there.
Oh, wow. Dzivielevski picks up an absolute monster given his situation.
That's what I get. I should just. I was just fucking with you guys a little. My word. What a hand.
Schulman. With the amount of heartache he's had to
Not so
endure,
much you, Max, but
the fact that he's 4 ways
wanted
is
to test Canada out a little.
pretty
Air
intense.
Canada. Need the 5. I'm gonna stop saying stuff. I'm kind of like losing it a little.
I'm sure it's good for the TV.
Maybe not.
All right, Dzivielevski looking for these 8s to survive here. King 9 Jack. That's quite a good start. 2 outs for Schulman twice. Could see a backdoor chop. I don't know. I don't want to jinx it, but it is
But
possible.
you called it.
I'm here to call what's possible, and that's definitely an option here. Schulman looking for a 5 to win or a 10 to chop. River card. 4 of hearts close, but no cigar.
Okay, so does Daniel say I would have knocked you out, or does Coleman say I would have knocked you out? The only player that would not have beat Yuri in this hand was Schulman. Coleman makes top 2, and Daniel makes a straight. So if Schulman folds, Yuri's out of the tournament, and we find the
Would you have
ladder.
won?
Was it 9-10 make anything?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Straight.
9-10-0.
I must have lost my mind.
Oh, because if you fold, comes to me.
See ya.
I jam
Yeah.
first.
Oh, you jam. Would you have
You
won?
lose?
No,
So then
you would lose or
you would lose.
at King Queen.
King queen.
So you would lose.
I wish I was this good at predicting the
we
future
win.
all the time.
It's hilarious. The pain for Schulman is that much greater because both Coleman and Negreanu would have indeed busted Dzivielevski. And now Negreanu with King Queen, the one pull on the trigger.
Okay.
King Queen versus
Good
King
call.
Queen.
I got King Queen.
No good.
You have 3?
Just a little behind.
Hey, wait.
2 flush draws for
You
Negreanu.
always know how to handle every single person in the room. It's amazing.
I do have the best hand, just for the record.
You have spade diamond?
I have spade, yeah. So
Okay.
slight edge.
Got it any
Good.
Schulman doesn't know
Spades.
what
Hello.
planet he's on.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
we
Both
both have a
players just
straight.
like that, flopping a straight.
but
Backdoor,
Spades working.
backdoor flush available
Yes, it's
to
like-
Daniel.
Backdoor
thinking
straight flush
9-8 is
available
big.
for
I feel
Nick.
like I kind of deserve to lose after not folding those 5s, but if I can get out of here with a chop, we'll,
Yeah, yeah.
we'll just move on.
okay. Yeah.
Turns 10
I
hearts.
don't deserve it, but
That'll chop
you
this
can
thing.
throw me the 100, Stella.
Quarters.
What a game. What a final table.
And Schulman knows he probably should have folded those 5s. I mean, just
He
in
knows
that-
now
in that
for
spot.
sure. The only one that doesn't beat Yuri, and he's the one that gets heads up with him.
What a show.
You
What a
have
show.
500, Yuri?
Yeah.
Queen 10, 4, Negreanu. Donnie put the line at
4.5.
4.5 shoves. This is going to be number 4. Just like that, Negreanu takes it again.
He didn't play the 9-4. He didn't play when Schulman raised there, and
With
that's
the,
it, right?
10-9 offsuit, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, so was that 5 then? Oh no, we only played 6 hands. I thought we were playing 7 hands. So I guess the under came in on 4.5.
Oh, he also didn't play the ace-6 when Schulman
Oh, you're
jammed
right. There
with
was
the
7
queens.
hands. There was 7 hands.
Yeah. I said 4.
4
Yeah.
was exactly correct.
Doing the math.
He's counting the number of big blinds he's going to have to play.
I don't know if I did the math right. Whatever.
So it's one.
All right, no limit
150?
single draw called by Coleman. And I'm sure Schulman wouldn't mind this. This is like one of his strongest games. He now also basically, sort of in a way, tied with Dzivielevski for shortest stack. I promise you we'll see more all-ins in these next 7 hands. If you're just tuning in, dealer's choice, 19-game rotation. We are looking to find the winner of Event 6 of the PGT Mixed Game Series, 15K buy-in, just shy of $300,000 up top for the winner. We are having a blast. This final table has been quite ridiculous, and we love it. We absolutely love it. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and we are on single draw, which means you're trying to make 7-5, 4-3 deuce of the not one suit variety. Straights and flushes do count against you. You're trying to make hands that are as low as possible, such as this draw that Schulman is holding.
I will say I really like how Yuri has played this final table and navigated the pay jumps. He had so many opportunities to bust and decided to
I didn't know what to
take
do
the
if I
more
made it.
passive
I kind
route.
of was like, what do I even do?
What's the other
I
one?
guess just all in, but
Yeah.
you know, after minning the 5s, we could just do whatever we want. I might have limped if I made the wheel just to kind of maybe limp.
Yeah.
Or
Min
min.
raise.
Yeah.
Huh?
Or maybe min.
Min raise. You didn't look? You didn't look when you raised?
No, I did look at the queen because I wanted to, like, if it was.
Oh,
somehow
you want to
there,
see if you want to min raise, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
350 or something crazy. I'll probably just go all in.
One of the things about Yuri specifically is he definitely has a strong online background. You know, you mentioned pads oftentimes in some of Pads' stories, Patrick Leonard's who we're talking about. He's showing Yuri battling with him at the table. And what I'm getting at is online, you know, especially when it comes to like a scoop series or a W Coop, et cetera, a lot of delicate ICM spots. Yeah. So Yuri is very extremely well versed, studied in that area. So, you know, not exactly a comfort zone you want to be in right here, but I'm sure he doesn't feel out of his comfort zone having dealt with this plenty of times.
No, he's done absolutely flawlessly up to this point. I wouldn't expect anything less from any of these players.
800?
800.
There goes Maxx.
Oh, wow.
One of those raises where if Daniel comes over the top and Yuri calls all in, maybe Coleman gets out of the way here.
Right. We will see a collision for sure. Even without looking at his card, I mean, Daniel's going to pretend to look at his card, but he's going to be all in, put Coleman to the test, no matter what here, I suspect.
Oh, and he makes the 8-7. Coleman lucky here in a sort of a sick way that he ends up pairing.
God, that's one of the worst cards that you can draw. He's going to leave himself with 275K chips behind.
Keep in mind, though, Coleman started this hand second in chips for what it's worth. Coleman now
10 seconds.
forced to fold. There's just no way he can call this.
I am surprised that Negreanu didn't just jam pre-flop, just go all in. Maybe he wanted to have this exact situation where he's putting Maxx to the test if he doesn't make his hand.
And I think Coleman knows what you were getting at, Kevin, where Daniel's probably going to do this anyway. So is there somehow I'm winning this hand? Like,
No, the only way you win this hand is if Negreanu paired 7, 8s, 9s, or 10s, and you have a 7 and a 10 in your hand.
Yeah.
You're not beating anything. You're not beating deuces or 3s or 4s.
That's very good. I paired 6s. I just.
Yeah, I would have
that's-
done it, obviously, with 7s or 8s, but
yeah, see Daniel saying there that he's just going all in anyway.
Yeah,
So
that's-
Daniel just constantly apologizing.
yeah, like you can't even.
for running well.
It's insane.
It's like
Look
you're
at the
not
stacks here. This is like a true circus. Dzivielevski literally pretending like he's not here, so people forget that he's still in the tournament. I mean,
They
really
say
good
in
news for
ICM
Yuri.
you make more money by folding.
right.
Yuri Dzivielevski is doing that. Like,
Well, this is
just
a
fold,
unique-
fold,
I've
fold.
never
You know,
been in a spot like
hope that
this.
other people just get their money in somehow.
The amount of pressure that Daniel can put on Schulman in the big blind, this hand specifically, is enormous. And I wouldn't be surprised if he had anything reasonable, even a 2-card draw, that he should just go all in with. Maxx knows that next hand he'll be all in blind, except for a quarter. Does he want to take this spot? This hand is just too bad to continue with. Yeah, anything reasonable. Negreanu's all in. Can put Schulman in such an ICM cage.
Little acting.
10 seconds. 275.
Interesting. I wonder if he's trying to balance his range of being reasonable hands. And now he's giving Schulman a chance to just call, draw to make his hand, and then decide if he wants to put more money in there, instead of Nick just being all in to start.
So in a way, Negreanu should have just jammed to make this decision a lot more polarizing.
I think so. I think Negreanu jams here, and it's a lot harder for Nick. Oh my gosh.
Nick pairs his 3. Negreanu ends up with Jack 10-9, again making a hand. And I mean, this is getting ridiculous.
And Schulman's not going anywhere pre-draw. He has to put his money in with a hand this strong. Negreanu just failed to knock out another player.
No, Negreanu's goal is to get everyone down to 1 big bet.
Yeah.
And then end it 4 ways.
And even if Schulman if he finds a fold here, which I would guess, I mean, he's still ahead of Coleman and Yuri. Like, he's still ahead of them in chips.
This is crazy.
This is crazy. And he knows next hand, like you said, Kevin, Coleman's all in except for 25K. Like, he's got to commit 250 of his 275. So this is another wild spot.
Once again, Negreanu with, I mean, slightly the worst draw, but Schulman has a monstrous draw that just didn't come to anything. He knows Negreanu would jam every single card that he catches here, but are you beating 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s? It's just, there's so many more cards in the deck that beat you than not. And do we want to gamble when we do have the other 2 players covered? I don't think so.
If you
feel like
play,
he's bluffing, Chino. What do you like, bro? It really feels that way to me, but.
Oh my God.
Is this phone a friend? What is this?
I'm surprised he didn't run over. Nick, let me sweat your cards.
he might still be doing that. Chino Ream in the house, as always, leading the PGT Mixed Game standings.
Notice Negreanu,
Just raise
who's
those 5s
sometimes
kinda to fuck with
talkative.
you. It all happened so fast, and now here we are. I just kind of wanted to be funny. It's just min 5s there. Heavens to Betsy. It's okay. It happens.
Wonder if that's specifically because, you know,
Sorta
Nick
have to
probably
just have
can
7s,
read people.
But you kind of have to. Every time I feel like, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Time extension.
Jack, buddy.
Good hand. 2 3s. Good hand. Happy to hear that.
Negreanu continues the
Thank you for
steamroller.
not going all in pre-flop, by the way, my man.
I was
looking out.
I was giving myself an extra out in case I did make sevens.
Fair, by the way. Wow.
Yeah, he did the same thing these last two hands. If he just goes all in, both of these players are eliminated.
How to defend.
Yeah, but this is way more fun for us.
This is way more fun.
And like he said,
Like I
he
said,
gives
I don't
himself
think I've ever
the
seen
bluff
anything.
outs.
Right.
You know, so that's his idea.
Completely understand why
you
he's
guys all
doing it.
have, like-
100%.
This is crazy.
Yes, Daniel. Here we are.
This is insane.
Yeah, it's okay.
Like he's 400K, and you're big balling.
We're all happy for you.
Mr. Nick, you can't complain. You're still here. Look at you winning money.
Oh, man. Donnie, you have to interview Daniel no matter what happens about this final table
One chip left.
and write the article about hotter than the sun.
You guys go.
Negreanu just wants to keep slowly vacuuming up all the air in
He
this
has,
room until there's
he has
nothing
91%
left.
of the chips. There's no more vacuuming left to be done. He has 91% of the chips.
All right, Daniel, all in. Thank you.
I mean, that's enough.
Right here.
He, 5 yellow chips would have been enough to put every other player all in.
And Yuri's in such a tough spot here too because he knows Coleman is basically all in except for a quarter. He has to fold almost anything. Schulman has to fold. Oh my God.
He has a hand too.
He has like the worst hand that you would ever call with here, and he has to do it.
I mean,
There were some situations.
yeah, right if they come.
Donnie, I don't know if Tim Duckworth is tracking stats on this. Coleman is going to make the call here, by the way, drawing 2.
Sure.
Yeah. Pretty good one.
All right, Negreanu drawing to a
I'll let you know.
9-6-5.
7
Yeah,
for
that's the one
Daniel
you
for
want.
sure.
It's a
Oh
three
my
cross.
God.
There it is.
And it's a
There
cross.
it is.
He makes a 9-7, and that is it for Max Coleman. Coleman busted in 4th place. He was second in chips for a while there, but this tournament just belongs to Daniel Negreanu until otherwise declared. Coleman collecting 97,500, and look at Dzivielevski. I don't think he's won a hand today.
He won the 8s against 5s, and that's it.
8s against 5s. He's guaranteed 131,000. There's 190 for second place, so there's a 60K pay jump now, and Schulman and Dzivielevski will be in the ultimate stare down for who gets to go up against Negreanu.
No, Yuri's all in this hand. He's all in blind. He had to fold the last
wow.
hand.
You're right.
Just because Coleman was all in blind.
I mean, this could end right now.
crazy.
It could end right now.
No, Nick's going to fold
Of course.
almost 100% of his hands in this spot, unless he's dealt like a Pat 9 or better.
I mean, what a
wait.
tournament.
Wait. It's Negreanu that's the big blind only. Next hand, Yuri's all in no matter what. Negreanu's just going to get a walk.
Oh my God.
And then Yuri's going to be all in no matter what.
All right, so okay, here, we've arrived now in one of the strangest situations. Negreanu has 94% of all the chips in play.
Sean Winter told me that heads up in tournaments.
All right, 3-handed, but are we really? Daniel Negreanu's tournament to lose here at the PGT Mixed Game Series. Absolute pandemonium here. And although also these players, by the way, collecting serious points in the road to the championship. We're doing $1 million free roll at the end of the year. You at home listening to me right now can win a seat into that tournament. Check out pgt.com/dream-seat to find out how you can become a player in the $1 million free roll. You can check out standings for the top 40 players on pgt.com/leaderboard.
Yeah, take 5.
You take 5?
Well, no, I think I pat.
I wonder what Nick would do here with a hand like a
Yeah,
pat 10-9 or 10-8. I'd
take some
It's
cards.
so difficult
I think fold.
to be in his position. I mean, yeah,
have
it's,
to fold.
I think maybe pat 9 or better what he would go with, but I think you just have to fold everything. Okay, easy decision.
Yeah.
King.
And then we can see Yuri's hand is absolute trash. So
Let's see.
All right, Dzivielevski will be all in with a bunch of garbage.
Quad.
Negreanu has to call 100K here.
It's not quads.
oh, he only has to call 50K.
Oh, 50K.
Definitely not play. Now I have to decide.
All right.
Okay. let's see
Negreanu
here.
tossing 2, I guess.
I think it's draw 2 and draw 3.
This is just ridiculous.
I don't think Yuri should have looked at his hand because maybe now he gives off some sort of tell to Daniel.
Well, Negreanu is thinking.
Wow, I actually like that a lot because it's so hard to have anything.
Don't make a pair and you win. Okay?
Okay.
Just don't pair and you're good.
All right,
And
so
don't make it
Negreanu
straight.
with ace-king.
3 clubs, too.
Standing pat. And Dzivielevski pairs his 4s. And that is it.
Yeah.
The Brazilian pro squeezed his way into the top 3.
What am I going to draw? 1?
Gets
Drawing 2
eliminated.
No, it's either 2 or that, of course.
Taking home $131,000.
You're right.
And we'll have Nick Schulman versus Daniel Negreanu heads up for the title and $290,000. It has been an insane final table, and the 2 biggest stars are going head-to-head. It is just $350K versus $9.3 million. Schulman needs about 45 double-ups to make this thing a real match again, but it is not over yet. We're going on a short 30-second commercial break, and then the action will resume. Let me first remind you that we have this crazy deal with OccupyPoker.ai. Go check them out right now. You can sign up for free or get one of their paid plans to drill real spots from PGT final tables. It is OccupyPoker.ai, the ultimate poker lab for everyone. I'm not even sure if there are spots you can drill when you have 3 big blinds versus 93 big blinds. As we go back inside the studio here, Negreanu versus Schulman. We
should both
battle
butcher some Badeucey together.
we've all been waiting for.
Me and you. Apparently I made a fucking brutally bad play.
Badeucey?
Yeah.
Against me, or?
I think it was. I had deuce 4 8 9, and I drew to the deuce 4 8.
You had a 9 Badeucey from the jump?
No. But I could have drawn to deuce 4 8 9 with a 3 card, and I threw the 9 away.
What was the situation though?
You raised my big blind, and I had deuce 4 8 9, with I deuce 4 8, deuce 4 9 of Badeucey.
You had deuce 4 9.
Yeah, but I drew to the deuce 4 8. I think I'm supposed to just draw 1.
Isn't that just or the deuce 4? Can I get some? Let me get some purples, Daniel, just to kind of shuffle some chips for one moment. Thank you.
No, I don't. I think you're supposed to draw 1 to the 9 9.
I see. Got you. Oh, deuce 4 9 incomplete. Okay, I see.
Yeah, but instead I kept the deuce 4 8 with 2 hearts. not good.
No, really bad.
Yeah, really bad. Okay, which box am I? This one?
Oh yes.
The unlikeliest of scenarios for Schulman here, making it 2 heads up, guaranteed $190,000, and having, I mean.
What does that do to the leaderboard?
What odds does Schulman have to win this heads up? Put a number on it, Donnie. Right now, before the first hand.
35 to 1. I mean, I don't know.
It is insane.
I mean, it's going to be very, very hard.
First prize in this event.
Well, it might be over right here. Negreanu dealt a pat hand. Going to shove a lot of different hands. Wow. Oh, no. I mean, Schulman only had 75K back.
Okay,
I'm taking 4. It's no limit single draw, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to take 4.
All right, so 4-card draw for Schulman.
Got a jack to beat.
You got a jack?
Yeah.
I made a sick key. I could have drawn 3 to the 7 queen.
Oh, sick.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
All right, so let's see if Schulman can pull off the first of many miracles needed here.
I mean, this would be a miracle.
This would be an absolute miracle if he draws 4.
I have a good feeling about you this hand. Like,
about me?
I feel like you're right away. We're okay.
All right, we're still live.
You're in the game.
He sweated a 3 across.
Yes, sir.
It just keeps coming.
Sounds like a no across, yeah.
No way.
Always been very lucky at low ball. Very. My
whole life.
Oh, no way.
Let's go. Let's play a little longer.
Give him the 4 across.
Oh, he makes the jack.
Oh, my God.
Schulman makes it
go.
Jack 7 after drawing 4.
As if this final table needed anything
4.
else.
Boom.
Draw 4 versus a pat,
Yeah.
and he just rips it off.
Good thing you didn't take the queen. How much you got now?
So
like 600, 700?
No.
Negreanu is choosing a new game now.
500 and it's your
Schulman
game?
has the button.
Yeah.
Okay, here you go, sir.
Let's just do PLO.
PLO?
Yeah.
Negreanu just wants to run it.
Time for some flips.
Time for some flips.
Sit around here.
1, 2, 2.
I mean, would there be okay? Can I make the case here to play Limit Omaha or Limit Hold'em because you're going to force Schulman to showdown much more easily? The stakes are so much higher, given how short he is.
I like this because a lot of the decision making comes down to pre-flop.
Being all in,
And
right.
Negreanu
Walked
basically
in there
just
like
wants to
trained
flip
pigs.
with Schulman. You know, he can lose 2 flips and be completely
never heard that
fine
one?
with,
No, I
with
never
where the
did.
chip stacks end
When
up.
someone's catching perfect, you're like, they're walking in there like trained pigs. One for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Negreanu knows
Yeah.
if they
PLO.
flip,
I owe
say,
100.
3 times
Okay.
in a row, and he only has to win one of them. So this is actually a really good choice because the equities do run
One
so
more.
close.
The chat is losing their minds over that hand where Schulman just escaped. Quite unbelievable here as we...
I mean, what are the odds of that?
Yeah. Apologies for the graphics here. I'm sure they'll be back in just a second.
It doesn't matter. We're flipping in PLO anyways. Let's go, boys.
Yep.
All right, we are flipping indeed. Turn them up, boys.
Wow, what a hand for Negreanu.
That's the
I mean, you have Queen Jack 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right though.
Huh?
I was just hoping
Oh,
to
you
be
know
a
you
little
do.
more
Yeah,
live.
I didn't see that. I had the 6.
I have Jack 6 too when you got bigger cards.
It's PLO.
I need the wolf pack.
We know the wolf pack is the middle cards in the deck.
Ace of Hearts is a
You got too much
5
out there.
through
It's just
9s.
5.
5 total. Yeah.
All right, so Schulman looking to get back up to $1 million. Apologies again for the graphics, but it doesn't really matter all that much yet. Let's see if Schulman can survive another one. Jack 10, 7, 6 versus Ace Queen, Jack 6. Negreanu, heavy favorite here
I
to
don't want
close
to
it
lose
out.
this one. I've decided. The first one was fine, but I think I'm
Just-
over
just
like that
60,
Nina.
40.
That's a heavy
I like
favorite in
this,
PLO.
kind of.
Yeah.
Ace,
You have
8,
the
9.
I got the 7,
2
10
hearts.
Jack.
Buddy, you have the wrap.
And the 6.
You're a favorite.
And the spades.
Jeez. The ace was like such a good one, but
Yeah,
Not with the rest
it's
of it.
50-50 here.
Any eliminators? Fever is an eliminator.
an ace on the turn.
10 is not good for me.
Ace on the turn is like
Annoying, super annoying.
very big helper.
All right, Schulman still.
Okay,
There it
that's
is.
the nuts.
Double
I
up.
just have to fade a 10.
Oh, a 10. I didn't even see that. Oh.
All right, so Schulman looking for
Didn't see
his
that I
second double up.
He's whistling.
Hey,
oh boy.
that was an early whistle.
He whistled himself into a 10.
Keep it low.
Waiting for the river. Okay, graphics are back. Negreanu with 3 outs to close it out. Can he find it? It's not there.
Winner.
Schulman doubles up a second time.
I
Okay,
lost
we're
one
not
of these,
done
by
yet.
the way, as you in the World Series
I mean-
to Galfond.
I believe it. Yeah.
No, I know it's
can
not
happen.
that crazy. Maybe
Like-
it was. Sure.
After the next double up, it'll start to get scary.
Would have been
Yeah.
nice if we could just go play that other one, but
Yeah.
they walked in there like trained pigs and then
1.2.
Who is starting to believe in the chances of Nick Schulman?
So you're
Let us
2
know in
and
the
2.
chat.
Yep.
Still some business needed to be done here for Negreanu, but I can already say one of the most ridiculous final tables I've ever seen. If you've been enjoying yourself, please reward us with a like on the video. So smash that like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel. This has been one for the ages. We
Cool getting
in the
heads
booth
up with you, Daniel.
it is
have
fun.
been thoroughly
I don't
entertained.
think we've ever done that,
I
right?
don't think so in all these years.
I
Can
just
you
want more
believe it?
Badeucey, but it's not going to be possible. We're just flipping here.
Tell you what would be even cooler.
Pot.
Wesley McGee here.
Negreanu just going to keep on gambling. Schulman does have an ace, but pretty raggedy here.
Oh,
Yeah,
whistling again.
he's
You
at
know what?
1.2, so a third of his chips are already in the middle. I think he's going to give it up.
Ooh, that was good.
Was it good?
Yeah, you're ahead.
It hurts. I might not have been ahead, by the way.
Oh, you get tripped
Probably
again?
was. No, I had to that should probably call off, but
Yeah.
He did just
I
lose a
felt
third
sort
of his
like
stack.
I felt like I was going to lose.
Yeah, I understand.
You know what I
that.
mean?
Yeah.
If Daniel loses this, Donnie, is he going to just toss the hat through the room?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him fall out of chairs, fall to the ground at the WSOP.
Selfie sticks?
Yeah, selfie sticks, everything. I mean,
Can we get to 2,000 likes before this thing is over? That's what I'm wondering. Help us out.
yes,
chat.
we can. Let's go. Let's go. I believe in the people.
What a ride.
Wow, that's an ugly hand for Nick.
Let's go again.
That was pretty good.
Much better for Negreanu.
I win.
half of Nick's chips are in the middle again.
All right, Negreanu's still looking for his first win in a Dealer's Choice event. Let me quickly remind you that we only have 223 seats available in our contest on Splash Sports. You're going to want to head over there and check it out because this is your way to potentially play on No Gamble, No Future. We're offering a $5,000 seat to play on one of our biggest cash games, and there's a $50K prize pool on top of that. Check out splashsports.com/NGNF. Only 223 seats available in this free roll. So splashsports.com/NGNF. We should be able to fill that thing up
5,
right here on the spot.
I have 5, yeah.
All right.
Got what I was waiting for.
You got the 4s.
All right, Schulman, all in. Queen 5, 4, 4. 9, 7, 6, 3 for Negreanu.
Reasonable. Fair fight. You think you're going to lose this one? I feel like you think you are.
I really thought I was going to lose the one that I folded that I should call. So this I kind of feel like I'm going to win, to be honest. Because I don't want to trust the deck stuff too much, but I knew I was going to.
I think I'll hit like a 7 or a 9.
Ace-9 Badeucey versus you.
All right, here comes the flop. 50-50. Schulman's tournament life on the line yet again. And
a
that is quite all right.
Can't win.
Dead on the flop.
Okay.
Dead on the flop. The luck is starting to turn.
And the button, and it's my game now?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Wow. This is interesting.
Very, very interesting.
I guess we're going to come with a split pot game, perhaps?
I don't know.
Something slower, maybe? I think you want to still try to accumulate chips, maybe just without flipping. A game that doesn't punish you too much pre-flop. I don't know. I'm going through the games in my head, and it's so hard. Like, you don't really want to play stud high.
This is the biggest decision of Nick's tournament because he knows that the chips are going to land in the middle.
Stud. Yeah. Heads up stud. Okay.
Oh,
so
there we go.
Oh my gosh.
Heads up stud. So we got like one hand.
Roots. Yeah, we're. It's not necessarily flipping, but he just thinks that he's a better stud high player.
My road games, you know? It's not like other tournaments. You can only do so much with 2 bigs, but.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to put a check raise in on 6 and really outplay.
Well, I'm not trying to do any of that. Just want to hit hands as always.
Yeah.
All right, 7-card stud is the name of the game. Haven't seen this one today, and Schulman finds split kings versus Negreanu with split 10s, and is the luck really starting to turn here? Because if Schulman takes this thing all the way to 7th, which is very likely given the fact that we are heads up and both players have a pair, then all of a sudden we're looking at a really, really exciting match here. And look at the cards being shown here.
I can't believe this is a real hand.
This is insane.
To start stud.
Schulman just called. He didn't even complete it on 3rd Street.
And we're going to just rip it in here, so it seems. 3 bets on 4th Street. Negreanu thinking his 10 is going to be good quite a few amounts at a time. And he picks up a gut shot straight draw along with it.
Everything's so even. Another 50-50.
Wanted to trap you up.
I had the 10s to start.
I was just getting
that money was getting
getting fancy.
Yeah, that money gets in all day. I think I could hit this.
Yes, I think it gets in with the split 10s playing heads up stud.
You think?
You have a straight draw.
Yes,
and
I do.
10s.
This is
I have
ridiculous.
a lonely pair of
Good
kings.
9.
Small.
Pair of kings. And
Would you
Negreanu
mind
goes
down
small.
Oh, I'm
Thank
gonna
you
squeeze
very
it
much.
just for a sec.
No, take your time,
Yeah,
by the
no.
way. I just want you to show it
Yeah,
first.
of course.
Don't
Of
show us.
course.
Let them
Let's
squeeze
see.
it.
You might not need to look. It's 3 across. That means
Donnie
you
and Kevin both blocking the screen.
Okay.
And the kings for Schulman hold up
What
3.7 million to 6.1 million.
Oh my gosh.
Well, this is something.
And we're playing
This
3
is a
more
little
hands of
something
stud.
at this
This is a
point
bit.
now.
You know what is
This
it like?
a bit something
4?
now.
Is it 4 in a row?
You know, it's a lot.
4, yeah. 4, 5. You had 300.
Oh my God. Nick Schulman had 350,000 chips about 2 eye blinks ago. And
But
now,
you're playing great.
what is happening here?
2.4.
Negreanu less than 2-1 favored here, chips wise. This is ridiculous. I mean, the stud and the way that it plays.
No, I think the graphics are slightly off.
Oh, they are?
Schulman just said 2.4 because he just started the last hand with 1.2.
Okay.
So one more and we'll be very close to even.
Okay, so there is a slight chip discrepancy. So Schulman does have 2.4 million. Apologies there. Working on getting that fixed. But either way, match is still ongoing. We still got lots going on, and there it is. A little correction there. 2.4 million, 7.3. Negreanu still in command, but things are more and more turning into a poker game versus perhaps a bit of a casino game with them flipping up. And look at Negreanu, perhaps a bit more tension in his eyes, perhaps wondering, am I really going to give this up? Because that would be one of the most epic collapses by ways of card runouts, as Schulman, without much skill involved, has won 5 straight all-ins, I believe, or at least 4. The fact that he started off his heads-up battle by drawing 4 and making his hand to survive in no-limit deuce is just insane to begin with.
And this whole final table has been like one of those ones we're gonna like look back on in a couple of years and be like, do you remember this? And then it's gonna be like, do you remember when this happened? Do you remember when this happened? Do you remember when this happened? Like, it's one of those final tables. It's been absolutely outrageous.
If Schulman wins this, do we submit this to the Global Poker Awards for final table performance?
Why can't it be final table performance for the way Daniel has bowled this thing over? Like, I mean, this has been insane.
Insane.
We already got hand of the year locked up with the Keating hand from High Stakes Poker, right? Why don't we get final table performance of the year locked up as well?
Oh, wow. 3 clubs, ace high versus 3 diamonds.
Punish, Daniel. Punish.
It's going to come over the top.
You're not very happy if you're Nick in this spot.
Getting raised by a 5?
Yeah, it's...
You're thinking, you know, pocket pair of some variety.
Yeah, you know your equity with 3 low diamonds that don't make a straight.
4th diamond for Schulman. Is this where we just press? Negreanu pairs his 8, by the way.
Yeah, much less likely Schulman has an 8. 50-50 again.
Schulman looking for a diamond. Instead catches a 4, makes at least a pair, which offers him some emergency outs towards 2 pair, which in stud high can often be enough. Negreanu continues applying the pressure. Schulman's still 55% equity in this hand. Don't forget about the fact that a 4, a deuce, an 8, a jack,
I was
a
just
diamond.
going to say, this would be a sexy raise. Like, such a good spot to put in the raise. Maybe deny some equity to Negreanu. Schulman just looking to get it in with pair and flush draw.
Schulman finds the raise and makes 8s and 4s somehow. Gets another bet in. Negreanu trying to find out what is going on here. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, there's so many cards that Negreanu needs that are dead in Schulman's hand. He needs to just to make 2 pair.
Negreanu does make the call. Schulman 84% here with 3.7 million chips in the middle.
Ace 8, 6, 5 for Negreanu.
Schulman's card hits the reader, and he gets the check mark after the scanner picks up on the signal. Negreanu does not improve, and Schulman, with 8s and 4s, holds on to the winner here. Do we check call and save 200K? That's the question. Or do we bet with the chance of having to call all in for 200K?
It's really, really dicey. I really like going for value here.
Schulman bets 400,000. And Negreanu calls it off. Even more for Schulman after getting maximum value.
The 8s too.
And the stacks are basically tied.
Oh my.
Don't call it a comeback.
We are basically tied.
Good. Wow.
This is unbelievable. I asked for 2,000 likes before this thing ended.
Serious now. We're even.
Oh, yeah.
Well, PLO it is.
Oh, we are back to gambling.
Oh, back to it.
Negreanu not wasting any time. 4 hands of pot limit Omaha. By the way, I was going to say,
more deck reads in the PLO now. I'm just playing my game.
we can hit 2,500 likes on the video right now. This has been one of the most exciting final tables of recent memory. My texts are blowing up. Every social media is blowing up. This has been ridiculous.
That was wild. The 4 card versus Pat Jack was the most special, and then it started you on a path.
What do we have here? How many chips are in play, Alan?
9-7-2-5.
Yeah.
Still got the lead. What are you?
Well, yeah, I know.
about?
Everything's fine.
Breathless.
Things are going great.
Nick Schulman working on the comeback of the year, comeback of the century, perhaps. Back to pot limit Omaha. The game of many risks and chances.
2 ugly hands. That's not bad for Negreanu. I mean, if you're going to flop something that isn't a 7, this is pretty reasonable. Schulman might also think his full house that he flopped is good as well.
Yeah, having a pocket pair with trips on the board, definitely a requirement to even take this hand anywhere. Of course, in pot limit Omaha, you need to use 2 cards from your hand. So for those new to PLO, you need to, or having a queen does not give you a full house.
That's a really good run out for Negreanu. The queens blocking queens and the 9 blocking the 9s that Schulman could potentially have.
Is this the first hand Negreanu's won in heads-up play?
Except for when Schulman decided he was going to fold.
Oh, yeah, true.
Every other hand that's gone to showdown has gone Schulman's way.
Wow. Wow. Yaba Guy says the Benny Spindler flop. That's a throwback. Kevin Saul, PCA, 2009, 10, in that range. Very deep cut. Jasper in the chat says, WTF am I watching? Yeah, stick around, buddy. This has been a roller coaster. It's a wild final table. Front to back, every single minute of this thing has been exciting. And every 4 hands we pick a new game. Negreanu now picking pot limit Omaha. I wonder if we get back to Nick's choice, whether he'll call stud again. It's a real match. It is a real match now.
All right, back to back for Negreanu. Building some of his chips back.
Donnie, how nervous do you think this makes Negreanu? Or is he so experienced that to him it is still water under the bridge?
I mean, I wouldn't say he's nervous, but I think you kind of start to have thoughts like, okay, I mean, this is how tournament poker can be, right? I mean, at one time, you know, you got 94% of the chips in play, and you're like, whatever. Laughing, having a blast. I'm just going to steamroll my way to victory here. On the other side, you're like, okay, like, you know, let's come back to reality. You know, nose to the grindstone, work to do. Let's get after it.
The time for joking around is definitely gone here, as Schulman can really hurt Negreanu now, which wasn't the case for the last 2.5 hours or so. Queen, Jack 8 on the flop here. Nice flop for Negreanu, picking up nut diamonds. Gut shot. Or actually, was double? Is it double gut shot? There's a lot going on here.
Yep, 9 or king.
PLO, man. What a game.
600.
Yeah, and Schulman just flopping nothing. 3 in a row for Negreanu. Called PLO. Won some pots. Wishes he would have won these pots last orbit of PLO, but here we are.
Of PLO?
Yeah, one more PLO.
And
What
then
is it
Nick
now?
has another decision of,
125, 250.
oh, the limits are going up, and this is the last hand of PLO. And then Nick has another decision
Yeah.
to make. Do we just ride it back with stud?
Yeah, chat. Get your predictions in now. What is Nick Schulman going to call for the next game? No limit deuce, arguably his favorite game. He just called stud.
Oh, we stud too. We had in like forehand. You had kings against tens. You had 3 diamonds with an 8, three spades with an 8. Like every hand's been.
It's true.
So many sick ones in a short span.
This whole final table is littered with sick hands. Starting off with Negreanu going on a monster tear to claim the chip lead and dominate everyone else. Schulman left breathless in many occasion, but still makes his way to heads up. By the way, if you're just catching us, 190K guaranteed for the final two. They're playing heads up for $100,000. So this is not some heads up for the title and the honors. It is for $100,000. 3 spades on board here, still playing PLO. Schulman flops a straight but doesn't have spades.
Nothing to do but call here. Evaluate on future streets. Negreanu drawing very thin.
6 of spades, perhaps making Schulman feel a hair better about his straight without spades.
Yeah, it's hard for Negreanu to continue repping here without any big spades in his hand. He's going to take his kings and queens to showdown here and hope to be good some percentage of the time. Unless Nick can find some value. He doesn't have a single spade in his hand, so it might be a little thin.
Schulman again with the check, 1.25 million in the middle. Can Negreanu sell a believable story, or is he going to take that showdown value?
Ooh, what a fucking good check. Almost went for value. Oh, that would have been bad.
Oh, wow, and Schulman here taking an important one down. Back to 3.6 million. Every single hand matters.
So if Schulman comes out on top here, he would take the top spot on the series leaderboard. And for all that Nick Schulman has done on the PGT in his career, all that sort of stuff, he's never won a series title, which is pretty amazing, right? If Negreanu wins,
I understand.
He's third, Schulman's second. Chino is still up on top, but it's very close at the top of the leaderboard.
Put on a show.
I want to point out that Schulman just said,
let's play some stud one more time.
Okay.
All right, we're going back to
What
stud.
is it this time?
He said he was tempted to call Badeucey because Negreanu emphasized the mistake he made during that game, during this final table. Schulman does, however, stick to stud.
It's really weird because like there's really not a weakness.
Right.
So maybe that's he's trying to get that weakness, and it's the Badeucey. Okay, maybe that's the weakness that he might have, if there is a chink in Daniel's armor. But Daniel grew up playing stud. Like, he knows what he's doing.
They should have just called Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
To really throw him for a loop here. Yeah. Someone should have called Yahtzee or something.
King of diamonds.
75?
Dealer's choice. Anything goes. If you can explain it, we can play it. That's what.
If you can explain it in less than 7 seconds, we're good to go.
Yeah, exactly. Split kings here for Negreanu on stud. Absolute killer.
We're not going to battle split kings against split kings.
I have.
Crazy.
I was playing the wrong game somewhat.
They're getting some hands in stud heads up.
Very low cards.
Oh.
You know.
I would have called Pokemon for sure. Get my Zapdos out there. Shout out to any card game. Isn't this the best? Dealer's choice. A lot of stuff we can learn from, but just in general, playing cards.
Show us your card game in 15 words or less. That's what I want to know.
Right. All right, Schulman. Some rags again.
Do we think Negreanu is just going to call PLO for the rest of this match? even if the stacks even up quite a bit.
I feel like that's where he's in his comfort zone right now.
Yeah, I think so too. He did win the 50K PPC. Playing PLO was the last game.
I mean, I've always said it. I feel like Daniel is overlooked when it comes to pot limit Omaha.
Yeah.
I feel like he plays all the games very well, yes, but I feel like when it comes to PLO specifically, players just, you know, they look at a lot of other players as the best in the world, and Daniel, I think, is deservedly well within that conversation.
You know, he had one bet left, and he won 5 all-ins. He had one bet. Really? Yeah, not even a bet.
Equity's running really close here. Both players showing an ace. Nothing much there for Schulman to continue on. Aggression in stud high will often be the decider. Negreanu at this point has sort of quieted things down a little bit. The Schulman rush has been cooled down. But given the stakes, it is really anyone's game here. All right, we are still heads up, whether you believe it or not. This has been one heck of a final table. Quick look at the PGT leaderboard. Nick Schulman with a chance to jump up to 762 on that leaderboard if he wins tonight. Otherwise, he'll be on a very respectable 680, which would also put him into 4th place on the leaderboard. All these players that you see during the Mixed Game Series will try to make it into the top 40, which will qualify them for the $1 million season-ending finale here. Schulman brings it in with the queen. Negreanu raises with the king.
The hood's back on.
We're locked in. Schulman lets it go.
AK.
Waits for a better spot.
Yeah, Negreanu's won every stud hand.
My game.
And now it's back to Negreanu.
PLO.
Always PLO.
We're going back and forth
What
between
is it now?
stud
It's,
and PLO.
125, 250? Okay.
So the big line is 250?
Yeah.
All right, pot limit Omaha, the name of the game. Are there any believers out there in the chat that think that Schulman is going to turn this thing back around? He has come very close. Almost at 2,500 likes. I'd love to see that number. Smash that like button if you're enjoying the coverage here. Playing pot limit Omaha for the next 4 hands before it's Schulman's turn to choose again.
Oh, what a nice hand for Schulman.
Ace, queen, 7-3 double suited on the button for Schulman. Might see some fireworks here.
Pot.
He announces a pot size raise. And this gets expensive fast. And
Oh
Negreanu finds ace, ace, king, queen, and comes right over the top. Doesn't waste any time.
2.25 total?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What is happening?
Oh my gosh.
This is insanity.
This is the world we're
Only
living
just
in.
So I don't do anything crazy.
Of course, of course.
You know?
All in call, yep. We got 2 suits.
Get this hand.
Got the primo in again. Nothing, I'm just kidding.
I got the what?
The like, I can't believe this hand.
That would be a fitting way for you to win today. All those
Ace,
great
ace,
hands
king,
you've
queen.
had.
It-
You know,
I
it
mean-
was just good hand day.
I'd be good with it.
I saw so many of those. I folded an ace and polynom off 3 bigs. I said it must be you double
Yeah,
suited
yeah,
ace
yeah,
or
yeah.
something, you know?
I was just waiting for that Schulman
deuce,
reaction
deuce.
when Negreanu tables at aces,
like
but
deuce,
it
deuce,
is
deuce.
now or never for
Calling
Nick
for
Schulman.
deuce is super
Very
aggressive here,
specific.
Daniel.
Well, I'm done with the sweats.
I
shaking.
get it, but
I'm shaking inside. I had
feel
one bet.
like-
You know, you're comfortable. You were free rolling.
I don't like how we both have ace queen. I need some 4s,
I understand,
some 5s,
yeah.
some diamonds.
Is there a sweat available?
2 7s.
Negreanu a favorite here to close it out.
There.
And we see
Get it
6,
better.
5, 6 on the
You
flop.
need a 4 now.
Schulman looking for a 4 and a 4
and you have
only.
An eliminator.
I do.
Daniel Negreanu
You got backdoor spades.
on the brink of closing it out. Schulman looking for a sweat. It's the deuce of clubs on the turn. Schulman once again looking for a 4 and a 4 only, or Negreanu will take this thing down after one of the most dominating performances in PGT history.
Good game, brother.
Nick Schulman versus Daniel Negreanu.
You know how stressful it is? I lost a helmet like that too, remember?
What a way
to
end it here today. This has been an absolute riot, this final table. Nick Schulman collects $190,000 for finishing in second place. Negreanu takes home $292,500 for his effort, collecting his first win of the year, his first ever win in a Dealer's Choice event, and this might kick off a run for Negreanu, who we'll see again in the 25K that'll starting today, that is on its way right now. My name is Remko, Rinkema, Donnie Peters alongside me, and Kevin Gerhart joined us for some expert commentary. Tomorrow, we have the final table of the 25K 10 game. Negreanu might be there. Check out PGT.com for live reporting, updates, standings, and all that good stuff. Man, oh man, what a final table this was. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't miss tomorrow's epic conclusion of the 2025 Mixed Game Series. For now, I want to wish you a good night. Thanks for tuning in. And don't forget to like this video on your way out the door. Have a good night.